Why? I don't. Twitter. I'm Twitter.
Sorry for the delay, folks. Had a bunch of little things come up. And this was a particularly messy stream to set up because of all the different video sources.
Disembodied voice of Miguel, get over here.
Can people see us? It looks like people can see us. Let me stop there.
BV728 says, waves. I assume that means you can see and hear us.
Okay. Let us know if there's any volume issues, etc. So the theme of this stream is sort of racing games that involve sort of stunts and creativity to gain speed, etc. Is that sort of what it is?
I think that's a good way of putting it.
Something like that.
And I think something Miguel pointed out was that we're ordering this for games that get more the way the games implement that idea get more complicated. Is how's it you put it?
Yeah, it's each one is sort of a little bit more complicated. So Uniracers is the simplest, then Burnout, and then Excite Truck is like the culmination of a whole bunch of interesting ideas.
So we're gonna watch a genre develop over like 15 years or something. So we'll start with Uniracers. I want to actually show you the manual for a couple of reasons. One being it's the only way you're going to understand how to play this. It's the kind of thing that like, once you get to see the diagrams, you get it immediately, but it's a little bit confusing without that. Also because it just has a really weird manual. Like, so this is actually apparently a Rockstar
look. Just wondering how this is going to look on. Oh,
Right.
okay. It happened again. It switched us to full
Please when the
screen.
resolution changes.
It's really traveling.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, folks. Not sure what's going on with our stream, but it seems to keep on wanting to switch to the wrong setup.
It's fine.
Okay.
Let's go through it.
I'm on Uniracers.
Okay, so this is apparently a Rockstar North game, as in like Grand Theft Auto 3, but in their earlier Lemmingsy era. And it's just I remember this from being a kid very clearly, because I rented this game. It's just a really weird manual. Starting with like, it's got this really weird sense of humor that isn't really funny. Like, okay, if you're reading this bit, then you must have just bought your Super Nintendo. Okay, the plugging in section says, well, if you're reading this, you must have just bought your Super Nintendo recently or still being careful. So here we go. I don't know. They have a creation myth of the universe. Far in the past, or what passed from the past, some great and powerful unigod looked across the abstract universe and realized that his boredom went right off the scale. Describes a weird god creating a universe of sapient unicycles in order to impress a girl who was in fact not impressed. The unicycles don't care who created the universe. Quote, it's racing that's the thing. The thing that's really memorable to me about this is that, you know how like, there's an entire page where they just ramble about pizza? You know how like old manuals used to have that this page intentionally left blank page occasionally? So Uniracers has, I'm going to try to read this as much like a 90s guy as I can, but
Oh god.
ever read a manual that has this page intentionally left blank followed by a blank page? Well, we don't do blank pages, man. If by some bizarre quirk of chance a blank page turns up, then by heck we're gonna fill it, even if it means talking about pizza for a few paragraphs. Speaking of pizza, don't you hate those little frozen ones that are the width of a CD and about as thick and comes in packets of 10,000 and only ever seem to consist of mashed tomato with a single strand of something that might be the cheese on top? But that's what you always find in the freezer compartment of the fridge, isn't it? That's why you should go out and get a deep dish, high cholesterol pizza that says a satellite dish and just as expensive so you know what you're missing. This rant stuck in my head for like 20 years or something. And I could never really remember which game it was. I just never was able to forget that one really weird manual that had the entire page where they rambled about pizza because they had space. And so I pull up this manual today trying to remember how you play it. And I start catching like the tone. I'm like, oh my god, this is it, the one with the pizza, isn't it? The thing you actually want to see here
Okay.
is where they explain... where is it? Yeah. The controls have different functions depending on whether the unicycle is in the ground or sailing through the air. Basically, the important thing is you have 3 axes you're turning on. And each one works a little bit differently. R and L are roll and flip, so it's roll forward, roll backward. A button is twist side to side around your axis, and holding down that A while Sorry, A is the far right button. Holding down A while using the left and right will make you spin those ways. Z flip is you tap X and you turn one way. It's not actually that complicated. And then there's this really weird bit, Mega. Mega is for the stunts that may or may not be in the game, so you can get scores that may or may not have earned on. You may or may not have earned on stunts that may or may not actually exist. They may be bullshitting you. This will all just make sense once you see it. So let me
I sure hope so.
I'm just gonna demo this for you. It's weird because I remember being 12 and this game being like the most natural thing in the world. Then today I picked it up and was like, "What? How do you play this?" So as you can see, this game is very much in the.
I hope that it doesn't switch to showing us just on the couch, because it seems to be going back to doing that again.
I think it just doesn't every time she switches resolutions.
If we go back to if it shows the couch and not the game, let us know. Anyway, so this game is very much out of the. I'm gonna do like a very brief one-player thing, but this game shines in multiplayer. So let's see. You have your choice of characters, all of whom have names. Yeah, I really like this little detail.
God, that arrow is.
That arrow was the coolest thing in the world when I was 15. Xander is a big fan of Michelle, apparently. I'm gonna go with Malcolm because I like cyan. Here we go. So, one thing I want to warn y'all about. These are back. This is select. I've never seen another game in the entire world that works like this. So I'm gonna start by just showing you. Usually the rule is it's a racing game and stunts speed you up, but there's a couple that are just do stunts for 30 seconds. So this will let me show you the controls. So it's sort of basic. You're going back and forth. See, over there. Oh, okay. Let's see here. So, like I said, just jump, roll forward, roll backward. Yeah.
Flip that way.
A thing to note, yeah, if you jump and hold down B on one of the buttons, you jump like this.
What's jump? What button
Sorry,
is jump?
jump is what you expect it to be.
Okay.
You can brake by using this, or by just pushing the way away from where you're going, which is bad because if you turn around really quickly and you don't push the wrong way, you'll. That should be taken as a challenge, I think. You can also flip this way, but this is really hard because the trick is okay. So other than the head bounce, which you will never, ever, ever actually pull off in practice. Other than the head bounce, if you do a trick, the trick does not count unless you stick the landing. So you have to be really careful, and it really helps to know the. It really helps to know the track so that you know when it's safe to do stuff and when you need to be ready to hit the ground.
Wow, this is extremely Tony Hawk, or...
It's extremely Tony Hawk, but it predates Tony Hawk.
No, what it's actually probably grabbing from is Summer Games, which had one of the first skateboarding sequences and did involve like making sure that you were aiming down. It also had a surfing thing that works kind of similarly.
Oh, interesting. So if you look really carefully, it's really strict about hitting the ground, and it's counting very carefully, like, out of all the axes you can turn on, like, how many times you did each one. So like a double Z flip is worth much more than a Z flip, or maybe not much more, but more. Okay, this was just me playing with, no, back. Sorry, I'm not used to the menu controls really are unnecessarily confusing. I'm gonna do this one more time. Okay, well I'll show you a race and then I'll do the bowl level for real.
So how is it scoring tricks?
It usually does not score tricks.
Oh, okay.
It usually
So doing one trick is fine, or does it?
You want to do as many as possible. So maybe it explains this in the manual. We can look. Another thing is I'm not sure what I'm not really sure what the yeah. So just you do a trick, you zoom up, you speed up. You do a trick, you speed up, so on and so forth. If you miss a trick, you slow down a little bit. This level is just one long straight line, so it's not really going to give you much to work with because this is the first level.
Yeah.
My belief, because this is the kind of game where it uses colored ground to like indicate something, and I've never really figured out what.
Yeah. think it's supposed to be like what's coming next.
Yeah,
or
what's
something.
coming
I
next,
looked
so
at
it's
a
like
video of this a few months ago.
yellow and red, like, oh, warning, stop. It kind of makes sense when you play it. Occasionally it's purple. Some of the stuff is probably in the manual.
It looked like there was some special types of ground as well when it was doing the...
Yeah, there's one type of ground which is like, I think backflip is a thing. But basically it counts everything, and I feel pretty certain that the more complicated... Oh, if you look at the bottom, they are scoring you on this level.
Yeah.
So that actually might... You could probably use this level to kind of like, assuming score goes direct... Yeah, I'm not doing great here. Maybe I shouldn't be talking at the same time I'm playing.
I think it might be that you need to do different... Oh no, you're wiping out.
Yeah, I'm doing...
Yeah.
There's no penalty for variety, but you feel yourself wanting to do strange and interesting things.
Yes.
And I guess, yeah, this one gives you like a point target.
Well, I mean, the Tony Hawk games did like penalize you for doing the same trick.
Yeah, if you do the
They
same
did.
trick, it's worth less and less points.
But
so.
there's nothing to indicate that. Yeah, there's a lot. There's the go and the arrows are all. Yeah, and it's interesting. They track the scores by the player. Just everything is this like 3D rendered sprites thing.
Yeah. Except for these, weirdly.
Yeah.
Yeah, the snail.
It's a very strange aesthetic.
I'm
I
gonna
don't know
do.
about the visual design of this game, to be perfectly honest.
Like it. I'm gonna do one really weird level, just so you see like
Wario Paint?
Wario Paint. I like the name of this one. So in the one player, you're always racing against a ghost, and it counts as a win even if you don't beat the ghost. But
Wait, so how can you lose in that case?
you can't lose. But if you don't beat the ghost, you hang your head in despair. So, and a sad unicycle is just a very sad thing. So you don't want that to happen. So there's a couple. The only kinds of yeah.
So sticky, there's twist, there's boost.
The twist is actually the twisty one is a boost, and they use that for two purposes. They use it to keep you from going the wrong way, because you get flown backward. I'm dizzy. It's very cute. It's like not just cutesy. It's actually the manual is cutesy. The game itself is cute. I guess you always want to be doing a winner. Yeah. So the other unicycle will like flop. Yeah, that's an okay time. But you'll know. But the idea is that this has a battery save, so especially if you rented this from Blockbuster, which is probably the way you played this game, there's a lot of times in there already. So you're racing against the other people who've used the cart, and I guess you're going to try to just come up with I want to show you one more thing, just to show you what wavelength this game is on.
God, there's big flashing.
Yeah.
It looked okay
this
on
is-
TV.
Definitely not.
You definitely couldn't do that now.
So here's
Like,
my
for good
unicycle
reason.
getting increasingly bored. Like, hello? Hello, are we going to start? Hi? Yeah, and here's a demo of like,
Yeah.
you can't go the wrong way because they'll boost you the other way, which is kind of nice.
So there's some boost, but some also flip you around. I know.
Yeah, that sounds right.
No, I saw you do it. So. So are those ones also boosting you, or is it just to stop you from doing tricks for a while?
The flippy ones?
Yeah, because you can't do tricks while you're being.
I think
twisted
the
around.
flippy ones are because there will be a lot of times they want you to be on the underside of a. There are going to be a lot of times they want you to be on the underside of a pole. Okay, so I haven't tested this yet, but this was described in the manual. This should let us do kind of like a effective 3-player.
Okay.
So I'm going to be player 1. No, I'm not. Hello? 1. Define me. Wow, this is like big
I think you have to
mood.
go into the
Just a series of define me's, but there's no way to do it.
it's in the options.
Yeah, it is. Define player.
Oh, so you can give each one a
Oh,
real.
whoa, what the heck?
I think it's define league.
Okay, define league. Okay, so you can't name yourself. You can only pick. You can only pick characters. No, wait, what? Oh, I get it. Okay, this may have been done a little bit hastily. Select YA. Hello? Yes, define me. Yes. Oh. Select Y. Hello? Sorry.
I'm thinking we should have hooked up a actual control, like Super Nintendo controller for this.
Possible. Oh, right. Define plus Y plus A. So it'll be... Wow.
What if you hit like start or select on that?
That's an interesting question. Oh, you can rename the players.
Yeah.
This option will remove define me.
I see.
I might need to actually read the manual.
It's not what I wanted to do.
You're in the player or not.
Yeah, I saw.
There you go.
Oh no, you killed Malcolm.
Sorry, Malcolm's dead.
2 men.
Who do you want to be, Miguel?
I will be Mike, because he's bright red. Like my couch.
Wow. I didn't test this ahead of time because I thought it would be more authentic if we configured our characters while we were playing, and...
You were wrong.
Well, it's definitely authentic, it's just a really bad idea.
Hit select. Try select.
Oh, you X'd
Got
Mike.
it.
Okay. Squid, squid, squid.
Oh, so I
I
guess
like
select.
this actually gives you enough room to spell something.
Uh,
Unlike
So you could actually
Japanese
have
game.
like your friends' names in for each unicycle.
yeah.
Yeah.
And then you could have leagues for, oh, I usually play with these friends, and then these friends.
It's not bad, actually. This is
Just
good.
like the interface is extra bad
It's a
when we're
very-
using a non-standard controller.
That's very good for... Wait, go back. I'm currently named blank. So I'm gonna, real quick, rename... No. Options, rename player.
No,
What do
no, it's not that. It's rename player.
Hmm?
It's not that. It's rename player.
Oh. Here we go.
This arrow movement is stressing me out. Someone is saying, and I extremely
Yes,
agree.
I absolutely agree 100%.
The artists are upset and the graphics programmer is happy. That's interesting. Mike is Miguel.
Yeah.
Not a big change.
Pretty big change.
I would disagree. I also accept Miguel. And based on the amount of weird times I've seen it spelled such, Miguel.
What's up with that?
I don't know. It happened
not
again
a-
recently.
I'm just thinking they're like cognates or something. Oh no.
I'm just like,
I'm sorry, we're going to find the return of the well-known in Japan game developer Kristen Love. How about Scout?
Just whatever.
Christ.
Love is fine.
Oh, Love's good.
oh, the arrow going like.
Why
catching
are
up
they
to you.
doing that?
Oh. This is definitely.
They're probably really
I feel like the
proud of
menus.
that.
I feel like the menus. I have a feeling the menus were done kind of at the last second. Okay, Squid League rides again. Let's start the basic tour, and we can try one of the harder ones later.
Sure, this is the menu equivalent of when you first learn Photoshop and just start using all of the filters to learn what they do.
Amazing. Okay, so race.
Yeah.
all the filters, but only 3 of the
So,
frames.
First off, Miguel versus Andy. So you are player 1, so you'll be
Okay.
1P. Just remember you're red, and you should be fine.
Yeah.
Press X.
Oh. I did not press X.
I
Okay.
don't know what you pressed. So this is the tutorial, basically.
Okay, how do I do a.
I think it's L and R.
L and R are the
Ah, I
flips.
see.
And the that's probably your basic for when you're going on a flat plane, because on a flat plane you just can't do a lot of...
I can also do a twist.
Yeah.
Yeah, the twist is okay. I remember you can twist both ways, but one of those ways is a little bit risky.
Can you do like a roll and a twist?
Yeah, you can combine all of these things. You've got full...
I see why they 3D rendered the characters.
Yeah, that makes sense, but also...
This game is missing some nice Comic Sans. Agreed.
So, race.
That would be a perfect fit for it.
Now playing... Uh-oh.
I guess I'm racing a computer.
Yeah, I guess.
I really thought it would give me a buy.
It might be that it's actually...
No, I think that spelling's perfect.
Spelling what? Which
More
way?
stunts give you bigger
Comic
boosts.
Sans. I think it's perfect.
Yeah, having to do all of the sprite rotations, so that would have been really annoying.
I'm not sure that it actually renders all full 360 degrees of freedom, but in principle you can move however. Like, you've got the controls for it. Yeah, so we're effectively racing against each other, just not on the same screen. Oh man. This is supposed to be random. But if Christine is always racing a computer, that's going to be a bit bummer. Actually, the manual claims that it's random.
Oh wait, am I going the wrong way?
Possibly. Oh my god, oh my god.
What?
It's showing arrows to tell you which way to go.
Did you press the second R button?
Yeah, what does that do?
I thought I fixed that, but it may be emulator speed up.
Oh,
yeah,
it is.
Don't do that. Okay, I disabled that on player 1, but apparently forgot to on player 2, so don't press that button.
So it shows you like these little like arrows.
Yeah, no, I see the arrows, but it's like putting me in a back and forth between. I think
you just made the lap.
Okay.
Like
Yeah.
it showed a little time.
So it's really weird because it's like,
What?
I think we probably should have played some single player each before.
sure, or we could do, or maybe just let you two do versus against each other, because you'll be sort of like in the same boat. Whereas I'm like, I've gotten my like 20-year-old reflexes on this game.
Yeah, I am extremely confused.
Alright, let's ditch the league, especially if it's going to make Christine keep racing Bronson. You know, they managed to get...
Oh, that's the break, okay.
They managed to get a Kickstarter for... They managed to get a Kickstarter for Toe Jam and Earl, so I wonder if you could get a Kickstarter for Uniracers.
And it also looks exactly the same?
Yeah, exactly the same.
Toe Jam and Earl were definitely a bigger game than this.
Yeah. But again, Rockstar, and this is basically a prequel to Grand Theft Auto. Probably in the same...
I don't think you've played Grand Theft Auto.
Probably the same continuity.
As far as I know, this is completely lore compliant.
This is definitely a game that I wish had a mini-map.
So I'm just down here. Yeah, they really want you to memorize the... Like, you're gonna be miserable eventually if you're not memorizing the...
I'm so confused by this thing where it's like, do a flip.
Yeah, I don't...
What is going on in this track?
When it says... So first off, if it says on the screen, it's probably because we're still in the Crawler League. It is probably just telling you do some cool stunts.
Okay.
Yeah, I kind of like this thing where it shows you like your time per lapse and who's ahead at each lap. Okay, let's ditch the. Let's go back. Let's go to versus. I'm really confused. What is the difference between 2-player and versus?
2-player may be co-op versus.
Yeah, but what does co-op mean in this context? Like, you're just racing. Oh. Should we start from Zoom Zoo because... Okay, yeah, that's fine.
Let's just go through them all.
Yeah.
Sure.
They're pretty short.
Yeah, short. So this was just a really good, like, you have a bunch of kids in a television kind of game, you know?
Okay, how are you landing those when I'm not? Oh, I'm not.
Some of it's timing. You also have to know when to stop.
Oh, I have to. Oh,
You have to hold it. So you hold.
I see.
LNR or hold.
I thought it was a tap, and I did a full circle.
Yeah, but the Z-axis one does work that way.
Okay.
So if you
Next try.
we now have an Andrew and an Andy in the same game.
Oh, it's that way.
This whole like two-dimensional racing thing is like really weird, right? Like you're going back and forth over and over, and you've
Yeah,
got
that's
like
why I was saying it feels like a mini map would have been really good. I know that often they had sprite limits that got in the way of that type of thing.
that might have been it. Also, it's possible that this. I mean, it does kind of add a little bit of difficulty.
Also, these entire sequences, I can't tell that I'm going down or up.
Yeah, it's definitely
it
really.
feels like
I don't
it's
have a
looping.
good feeling for like, am I covering the same ground or not?
Yeah, you spend a lot of time literally unable to see anything except your bike on the screen. So I think when they said do a flip, what they might have meant is that you're upside down and you're going to be landing.
Oh, I wasn't looking at that part. That
Okay.
wasn't the part that was confusing me. What was confusing me is it seemed like it was just basically I was trapped in
Yeah, but I think
area.
you were actually gaining ground.
Yeah, no, I'm realizing that now, but like the
No, I was
infinite
just as
background-
confused. I thought, yeah, it doesn't look different enough.
Yeah, it's bad track design
It's
given
kind
the
of-
limitation.
Yeah.
It's kind of really hard to imagine what these spaces look like. I think Nintendo Power actually had an issue where they had the I think Nintendo Power actually had an issue where they showed you like here's the actual maps of these things.
I was definitely also confused by that.
This feels like a sort of like a consistent problem with split screen games of this era, where making the sprite nice and big
Yeah.
equals these
Yeah.
situations where, like, it's the same problem we had last stream with what was that called?
Hazard
Zwei.
Nice C-flip. Remember, two things to remember, the Twister City! The most important thing is landing the stick or whatever. And also there is, if you go off to the sides of the bowl, there's a thing that'll let you like flip upside down, but probably you're gonna get more. Christine seems to be a Uniracers natural.
I think, Andy, can you go switch the stream to say that we're playing Uniracers? I think that switched to Herzog's Way.
Oh,
Also, apparently we're saying Zwei wrong.
Cat
Is that-
Uniracers, did you press update?
I didn't. That's the problem. Is the update is always below
Frickin'
the
Twitch.
folds.
OBS and Twitch are just like a series of like interface traps.
So I always forget to hit that part because it's below the fold. There's so many of these games. There's also like there's a mech game on Genesis that is really cool, but again has the problem of like you cannot see enough of the screen.
I mean, a thing is that like again, effectively, what we're doing is we're time trialing against each other.
Yeah.
So like, I guess this one's warning you where the goop is by the color of the ground. Since since we're effectively time trialing against each other, we could just go to one player and then each of us would get the full screen. But I don't know. There's something fun
I don't know if
about
that's actually the problem. Like, height would help with some of these, but
Honestly, it's like what it could really use is a mini map.
yeah.
Right?
Super Mario Kart did have that, didn't it?
Super Mario Kart had that, but the thing with Super Mario Kart...
But it used one of the screens for it, right?
Yeah, the thing with Super Mario Kart, I think, was that either because of the angle or for performance reasons, they didn't want... Probably just for the angle. They didn't want, like... I think they wanted kind of like a low camera angle, which meant that, like, there was nothing to draw on half of the screen, right?
I finally won one.
You won one?
And it really makes me wish a lot more of these games had remakes. Because like they could add mini maps because now that sort of sprite limit issue, performance stuff isn't there. They could have smaller sprites because people are playing on much larger TVs.
Yeah.
I definitely don't think like these sprites are too big given what they need to convey.
Yeah, it's really important you be able to see how you're moving.
That turnaround is really fucking
So did you see that the flipper wanted you to be on the bottom, the top when you came in and the bottom when you came out?
Yeah.
Nice. I think that this map actually has some hidden areas.
Oh,
It definitely does.
Yeah, that's the thing I really like. That they have you just like crossing a boundary in this one.
Yeah, no, that's interesting.
Yeah, it's kind of odd because, like, alright, let's say you want a game like Tony Hawk. There's a couple. There's like, that's just the thing. People make Tony Hawks every so often. You want a game like Burnout 3. People make Burnout over and over. There's not really another game like this. It's almost like, it's really hard to imagine a game that is like this but isn't this. Maybe if there was like a competitive version of Runman.
No, like much like Ozark's Way, I am like it'd be interesting to see remakes of these games because they are so unique.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And also like some of the things that were problems on them are solvable now.
So I played a lot of this game, and it is my belief that like some of the problems involving the kind of like the flying blind issue sort of, and the fact that you don't have a minimap, some of that is just resolved by playing a lot of it.
Yeah.
Like at a certain point, you're just kind of like, you're in this weird kind of zone and you know what to expect. And there's something kind of cool about that. Yeah. But I guess that wasn't a bonus. Wow, you had no idea where to go there.
This level is really weird.
Oh, I think I had to jump over something that was in the way.
A lot of the geometry is odd. I think you're supposed to go up and then, okay, get this. You're supposed to go up and then sort of roll over the lip. Or you could do that.
I won through mysterious powers.
It's simple, you didn't get lost.
It makes me realize how good. Have either of you played the original Micro Machines?
No.
It is single screen multiplayer. And works on a dropping out of the screen thing.
Is this on the NES?
Yeah.
Yeah, I played a game a little bit like that. Kirby Air Ride had a single screen race that just used really small maps.
In the case of it isn't like you're on a single screen, but like the map is much larger than a single screen in Micro Machines.
Incidentally, look at this freaking like 7-year-old's bedroom from 1992.
No, the way Micro Machines worked is it was a scrolling screen, but all the players were on the same screen, and if one of them dropped behind, they would sort of lose a life.
Oh, that's interesting.
And you'd regain a life if you were the one ahead and the other person dropped down.
That's good.
And so early on, when people are mismatched, you get a lot of stop and start races as scoring goes back and forth. But it's still fun. Once you get good, both of you are usually so close to each other in skill that it actually just becomes a continuous race.
That's good.
Yeah, no, it's a really good system for like compromising.
Draw! Perfect!
Wow!
perfect tie. I've never seen that.
That's incredible.
By the way, I want to let you know about one thing. There is a trick where you jump in the air, you turn sort of like sideways, you stay there for a moment, and then you turn back. It's called tabletop. They're like, that does not count.
Yeah, if we do ever do another racing sequence, we should definitely include some of the micro machines in there.
Yeah.
Whoops, sorry.
Miguel, no.
Please don't make me try to turn off your thing because it will probably send us back to the couch in OBS. Hey, so what is the stream doing to the backgrounds in this game?
Oh god, yeah. How is this streaming for people?
Oh, I'm sure this is like impossible.
Triple twist. Does it give you points for backflips versus flips?
I'm hardly doing any flips. Because I forget that that's
No.
the thing I should be doing.
Backflip is the same as a normal flip.
Okay. There's some really subtle stuff in their level design. Like if you're hugging the ground, there are like little hops that'll make you like get a bunch of air if you're going quickly.
Stream is pixelated. Like, theme plus your computers is sort of not. It's not the computers, it's the internet.
Yeah. Computer's great.
The very expensive business internet.
Well,
Shall we do one more and then switch
let's
to...
let's try one of the harder. Try one of the harder.
Okay. Let's go select tracks.
Select tour. Walker hop right suggest.
Let's do.
Hairpin Hill.
So often I feel like I'm backtracking.
It's really hard to tell if you're not.
A lot of the time you are backtracking just because like
Yeah,
It's
these
easy to
levels
turn
fold in
around.
on themselves so much though.
yeah.
Well, it's not backtracking because like it's not going the wrong way. It's just
There's just a lot of really weird geometry, and like it actually even hides how weird the geometry is a little bit because you're like only seeing a little tiny bit of it at any one time.
Yeah, no, I'm quite curious what these maps look like. Big. Now, the fact that map memorization is such a big part of it makes it kind of tricky as a local multiplayer game.
yeah. Well, I mean, I feel like that's pretty normal for racing games though.
Yeah, I know. Racing games are often, but like Mario Kart is good because it has a lot of rubber banding to help.
I feel like Mario Kart is also really bad for that though, because it also has like a lot of secrets.
That's true.
64 is worse about that than the original.
I feel like also a lot of the new ones do though as well.
But I feel like they're definitely not as memory based as this is.
This is extremely memory based.
There's what I think of kind of as like a dorm room game.
Yeah, no, the thing where everyone's playing it a ton.
Yeah, Smash Brothers is like a dorm room game. I feel like this might be a good dorm room game because you've got both the local multiplayer and the
Okay.
The time trials.
Another
and the
solution
awards
is
and
for
such.
everyone to be like 11, so
Can I
that
call Burnout now?
you have no chance of succeeding anyway. And also, you can't.
It's fine. I meant to throw the controller anyway.
I guess especially like you can't even tell like who is ahead very well,
No.
Yeah, no.
as opposed to something like Mario Kart.
Even if you had a mini map, you wouldn't necessarily be able to tell who was ahead.
Yeah.
Okay. Got it onto that thing. Now I've got to unplug this. We're gonna have no video for a moment while I
Could I
swap
sit
things
next to
around.
Christine since we'll
Yeah.
be the players? Okay. Wait, it's yours.
Okay.
So there's gonna be like a lot of like post Beach Boys dad rock in this stream.
In this case, it's a lot of bad 90s pop punk.
Big difference. Someone's looking on BG maps at the Uniracers tracks, and one of the tracks is 36,864 by 16,111 pixels.
Suspect it might not have been stored that way on the cartridge.
So we're starting with a fresh one. We do have my save, which is a bit farther ahead that we'll go to later, but
Okay.
what we're going to want to do is go through all the tutorials, because what's interesting about both this and Excite Truck are some of the details of how its systems fit together.
Okay,
Because
stop sitting on the cable like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because these games aren't just sort of about, doing the perfect line racing through, which is part of why I find them so interesting about them.
I just want to rip the record to show that Miguel
Alright, what am I
somehow...
doing?
I somehow what?
Somehow you managed to get together a playlist of systemic racers.
Miguel, what am I doing?
World Tour. So,
You are chilling with Stryker. What up, yo?
man, fuck
Okay, sorry
Stryker.
about that, but I had to say it once, right? I was in Robert's hardware store today, picked myself up a hammer, a wrench, and some nails. What's up, guys? You're listening to Stryker on Crash FM.
So how you're just gonna go through how the game
Just need a few
works.
minutes of your time to cover the rules of the Burnout Road. To succeed in Burnout, you need to be winning races, but you're not going to win races unless you take risks. The big reward? That's easy. You earn boost. Using
Nice.
boost gives your vehicle a speed boost. You can use boost at any time to keep you in the heart of the action. Here's the lowdown. Risks can be taken anywhere in the Burnout world. Take risks, you get reward. Get it? Near misses with other cars. Driving on the wrong side of the road. Drifting around corners.
Yeah, we just finished Uniracers.
Tailgating your rivals. Escaping crashes.
I didn't switch over what game it said we're playing.
You can even string these together to get two or more happening at the same time. Okay, so earning boost is one thing, but to win, you need to steal it. Battle with your competitors by rubbing, slamming, shunting,
Burnout 3 takedown.
and grinding with them.
All of those sound like euphemisms.
You'll get a quick boost fix, and you can use it immediately to mix things
I
up.
think, unfortunately, they might have been going for that.
Try taking
I
down
see.
the competition. Takedowns are when you wipe out one of your rivals.
This definitely sounds like a man who's read about sex in a book once.
But like an actual book.
Whose bar gets taken down too.
He doesn't have the internet.
Okay, something new is Crash Aftertouch. If and when you crash, activate Impact Time. When you are in Impact Time, you can steer your wreck. How cool is that? Use Crash Aftertouch to gain Aftertouch takedowns, or to help you get to the places other crashers can't reach. That was a public service announcement brought to you by Crash FM.
This man so much.
I gotta say, that's a lot better than that golf game you showed me. That
God,
also
just
had...
like the same developers and tried to do the same thing.
It was like 20
Yeah, it
minutes.
was like...
Six rivals.
It was
Yeah.
seriously like at least like 5 minutes long.
Slamming
You couldn't skip it.
Trying to take down the
You apparently can't skip that one either.
across the line. Dude, I see
I'm slightly fascinated by how like the existence of Crash FM seems to imply some kind of like a universe to all of this, where like there's like some kind of satellite radio
break?
that all these people are listening to while they destroy each other's cars on freeways.
Miguel, what's a handbrake?
I'm not sure. I just used
Not
the
that.
brake on the other set of.
Also not
things.
that.
What was Burnout Paradise?
That was the game after this. I haven't played it.
Okay.
It tried to do open world stuff, I think.
Yeah. There's some racing game that someone described to me as being really good, where like it's an open world game where sort of like you need to get to another place on this map, but as you go, people will drag race you along the way.
Oh, that's it's one of the Need for Speeds, isn't it?
Okay. That sounds right, actually. It was like some. I
So
feel like it was a
you
series.
want to be aggressive with these other cars.
Yeah.
What you're trying to do is like that little fire area there is quite small right now. As soon as you take down a car, it'll get larger and larger, which means you can spend more time boosting.
Oh, yeah, you're
Also, you should be using your
That's
boost
a good thing. Looks like something is going off there
like all the
somewhere.
time. If anytime it's full, you should be using it.
Okay.
Competition down at the quayside, then it's gotta be some of
So
our
can you can pick up boost while you're boosting, right?
For all your
Yes,
info,
by
keep on listening
if
to
you
Crash
are doing dangerous things while you're boosting, you'll be refilling that bar.
Oh, okay. Oh, did I just kill him?
Yep, you just took him out. He'll come back. He respawns just the same way you do,
Ah.
but it
Christine,
will put him farther behind.
Christine, you've taken a man's life.
What? Don't be ridiculous. These are cars, not men.
It feels really fitting that this game has Axe body spray ads in it.
So if you hold A, you'll go into slow-mo and you can sort of nudge your wreck around to try to get it in the way of the other cars. And if you hit, you'll be able to keep some of the boost that you've built up.
Do you have to? You don't pay for the impact time, right?
No, it's going into slow-mo, so it's no different. Christine, you're supposed to smash the other cars.
Listen. Don't tell me what to do.
The game's like,
I know what
"Gosh,
driving
no, not that
is."
much. You know, I'm remembering what a terrible job I was doing driving in Jack Black in Hell or whatever that game's called.
I like that it's giving you like the combo of things you did during your wreck.
Yeah, that's like makes you feel so much better for fucking up.
Chad is observing that Concrete Kiss is a good band name. So, if anyone, what was the name of the golf game? It was like Expensive Golf or something.
I can't remember, but a lot of the people who worked on this did make a golf game about smashing things.
The idea was just that it was like a 3D physics engine, and they would make rooms full of very expensive objects, and then you would just hit a golf ball really hard into the room, and it would actually give you a dollar total of.
It's based on a mode in this that we're going to show at some point.
Okay.
I liked him more as a joke than an actual game, unfortunately.
I was so confused by the huge amount of like video tutorial it fed me at the beginning
Yeah.
that I forgot the hang of it.
Yeah, no, like you don't know what half the mechanics are due to.
It's also, I
It
think,
feels like it was over, like it needed to introduce the mechanics slowly or have less mechanics.
Yeah,
I think it should have had less mechanics because it was like you were controlling a golf ball in the air, which you'll notice that's not how you play
Oh.
actual golf.
it wasn't a rival. Shit.
I was trying to also have like impact time stuff, like it borrows some of the
Yeah.
things from the car one, which is fine, but it added a whole bunch of new stuff as well.
Yeah, I'm curious what the version in here is, just because I want to see the repair estimate for each of these.
I love this thing of its ability to cut away and cut back to you.
Yeah, it doesn't feel bad.
.com for deeper racing info.
Tashi, what about Concrete Beach Party?
Say yes, and let's just make a
Can I try?
profile 2. It does a ton of like little achievement-y type tracking, like different types of takedowns you've done,
That's good.
and like so many car unlocks. I'm not sure if I agree with the ridiculous number of cars that are in racing games.
And it's going to be a ridiculous day across most of the U.S. The temperatures are
It's going to be a
soaring,
ridiculous
solar
day across most of the U.S. Well, that's
True.
relatable. Oh, we had a second car and I didn't pick it.
They're all the same. In
Okay.
fact, like within a class, there's very little difference.
Yeah, but I could have driven a blue car.
Hey, if you're heading up to the hillside
A
tunnel,
is
keep your
accelerate?
ass
No, A is boost.
Right
It's
trigger.
triggers.
I'm sorry.
Same controls as.
I'm having a problem because I've never learned. Oh, sorry.
It drives the same as Brutal Legend did.
I see. That's convenient. Whee. Oh.
Chad describing the previous music as a knockoff of Sum 41, which is like
That is
That's the
definitely
most
this
brutal thing I've
soundtrack.
heard in my life.
But also a completely accurate way of describing this soundtrack.
How do I drift?
Also, why do Americans know what Sum 41 is? I'm so
Right.
confused by this.
Oh, hey, this is pretty
Left
good.
trigger too.
Whee!
That's looking behind you, yeah.
Okay, so
That is
Left
some
trigger to brake.
crazy...
I don't think there's a handbrake.
but it said you could drift.
Yeah, by you using your right middle brake, I think.
Which is L?
Left trigger.
Yeah.
Doesn't seem to be drifting much actually.
Well, you're not toning at the moment, so it's not gonna...
Is there anything I can do to gain speed or be cool?
Well,
You could
right
be
now.
hitting A right now,
Oh,
so you've got boost.
crud. Okay.
You hold it down while doing the other stuff. Yeah, there you go.
It's crash
Oh, that was kind of like a drift.
The slopes here, they're perfect for a little boarding, man. I board here all the time. Unfortunately, it's out of season. So
I
let's
hate
run
this
some
man.
cars.
It's so not surprised me that he wakeboards. That just makes intuitive sense. Wait, driving the wrong
He
way.
snowboards, not wakeboards.
Oh. Just looking at the hang of corners.
So remember to be using your boost.
Learning a lot of Sum 41 facts in the chat right now.
Oh god, I'm
Yeah.
glad I'm not looking at chat right now. I'd like to maintain my ignorance. I normally play this game with two songs that are not absolutely terrible on it, which is this one Ramones song and a Franz Ferdinand song.
Which we are not doing because I want to be sedated and I would like to not be sick of it by the end of the stream.
While Miguel was setting up the stream, he had it in the mode where it was only those two songs could play.
They're good. I mean, this fire's not my favorite Franz Ferdinand track, but it's
But it meant
good.
we were sitting here for like 30 or 40 minutes of just those two songs playing over and over.
It's not a knockoff of Sum 41, so... So I
I think they just blew their entire music licensing budget on that one Ramones song and like...
I don't know, they had like 40 songs in this, so...
Right, but they suck.
Yes. But many of them may have been popular bands at the time.
I think I'm playing this too much like a normal racing game.
You really need to be thinking about your boost and thinking about how to gain boost.
Yeah. Then there's like these
A
long
really good
sections where
strategy is
nothing's happening.
tailgating.
Oh, okay. You do get a...
Tailgating, going in the incoming traffic line. Basically, you want to spend almost all of your time
Yeah,
in
you're
incoming
constantly
traffic.
gaining boost if you're in the incoming traffic.
Yeah, so now start taking these people out.
How?
Smashing into them, especially if you're boosting.
Slam them from the side into a
Yeah.
wall.
But not from behind.
That also can... If nothing else, tailgating will get you
counts
boost.
if you manage to like mess with the AI so that the AI crashes while trying to avoid you. That also counts.
Okay.
It has a special takedown type for that.
And one big leg. Also, the hottest burnout action this side of the state.
So yeah, just like smash it into the side. You'll even just get some for battling, trading paint.
God, I
All
got
of that
points
gets
for
you a big
I got points
boost.
for losing.
I like the idea of the obnoxious DJ. Like, I just wish it knew he was obnoxious.
The problem is, yeah, you have to live with him.
Like
the
he just
entire
needs to be.
game.
No,
You
I
can
think he
turn
just
him
needs to be.
off.
I think he needs to be more hateable. Like, I think he needs to be like aggressively unlikable as opposed to just like irritating.
So I was murdering my grandma the other day. Save the profile, yes. 2.
I guess
Yeah.
we didn't save before, so we didn't give
No,
you a
we
name.
did. We just.
You have to do
Yes.
this every race.
I think something's gone wrong.
Okay. I hope we didn't overwrite your profile.
No.
We didn't.
Okay. It's not a great menu. Do you want to overwrite this profile, but you can't see what
It's because I
profile you're
didn't
racing
name
on?
the profile when we first went in
Oh,
before the
okay.
stream.
Wow. Burnout Legends has a KMFDM remix of a mindless self-indulgence track.
Yeah. Okay.
Think of a mindless self-indulgence.
Okay, so we have our first crash event. So
Alright.
this is the one that is
Construction coming your way out.
this one that I'm playing.
Get into the action right here. Okay. Apart from burnout racing, you can also take part in the burnout crash.
Is the stream doing okay?
Here's everything you need to know.
What's the stream doing?
I don't know.
Someone said rip stream.
Burnout is all about risk and reward.
We are currently having a thunderstorm, so
Ultimate risk
It says it's green here. It seems to be fine in terms
Okay.
of our stuff here.
Xandra, do you mean the thunderclap?
No, that was not the game. That was the actual storm outside.
Yeah, there was a really loud burst of thunder, and
Okay, so the stream could hear that. That was what they were commenting
It
on.
was very loud.
when they said rip stream, I assumed that like the internet had gone out.
So this is the mode where you are trying to...
I wasn't paying any attention to this dude. What does the heart do?
It's bad, I think.
But why? What is
Heart
the
bad. It just, it's bad. Don't hit it.
It like sounds like he's describing the features of an accounting package. Like they borrowed this guy from Microsoft, the Microsoft HR department. He's normally making training videos.
This is Striker covering Crash on Crash FM.
Ugh. So this says, we have awakened the sleeping gods of thunder and rain with our talk of Sum 41. They are angry.
A car filled with boost and ignite.
So the goal here is basically to cause the most dollar costing accident.
Amazing.
Alright.
This is a good one to play like hot seat. You can do hot seat competitions with friends.
Nice.
See who can get the highest.
I'm gonna be honest, this sounds more interesting than the golf game.
Okay, so Crash Breaker, you can choose when to do that, which can sometimes be useful.
In this case, it didn't seem like there was a...
Yeah. So...
Amazing. Amazing. See, this I want to see with the Carboys engine.
Buddy, that was a red light!
So now it goes through and goes like, how much damage should you do to all of these things?
Oh, that's it?
Oh no, it's...
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no, you're not repairing that car for $7,000.
Well, okay.
Yeah, the Crash modes are really puzzle games. The early ones are quite easy to get a gold in, but they definitely start to become things where you're like, okay, I need to make sure I pick up this power up. I need to like land at this part of the intersection. Is it still?
Yep.
Okay, I think I need to back us out so that it stops doing this. So
Maybe
pass
we
you
just
for a
don't
second.
need to save.
Well, it'll just won't bug us if I fix this. How do I back out?
Downtown is the place to cause mass mayhem.
Back out. Back out. Back out.
Hearing me, and how are you in what way are you reminded of an early PS3 game called Pain? Wow, how did you do that?
Autosave wasn't on. That's the problem.
Okay, cool. Yeah, we already did Uniracers. It was interesting.
But very confusing as new players.
So Miguel, do you want to explain why this particular Burnout?
It's basically, this is the one that I played a bunch of. So I
feel
knew
like-
I liked sort of the level of complexity they had at this particular
I
point.
just checked in with my home at Race Radio, and nothing going on there. So keep it here. Crash FM, bringing you all the waterfront action.
I know that after this they did start to do the open world and stuff, and it's less straightforward.
I feel like this is the... Oh, I'm sorry.
So what I like in general about this game, but it's like a general thing with the series, is the fact that like, unlike a regular racing game where you're just trying to race the line perfectly, you're constantly have this risk reward thing. Like if you're behind, are you going to do something crazy and really risky to try to get that extra bit of speed? Are you gonna like spend most of your time driving into incoming traffic? And then the way like the sort of aggressive driving is also paid off, so that like I don't know, at this point you start with 4x. Oh, this is one of the ones where you're just time trialing, isn't it? Yeah.
Nice.
This is like one of the most boring modes. It's just a time trial.
Okay.
I do like how it doesn't penalize you for slowing down in this timed mode.
Well, it does because you're not going to get gold.
But it's kind of cool. It feels like a lot of racing games. You kind of just have these long straightaways where nothing's happening. And in this, they're like going like,
Shit.
figure out something. Right? Go into the wrong lane, something. I do feel like this had, I do feel like this was kind of like the one that got the most noise. Like, everyone I knew had an Xbox, made a huge deal about Burnout 3. And like, the ones after it, everyone was kind of like, yeah, it doesn't quite capture that Burnout magic because, I don't know.
I think the
What?
open world thing really threw a lot of people. I think it's now more people like it, but when it came out, it was such a different thing.
I think this was the first, I think that this was the first, I feel like this was the one that really just like captured like, I feel like this was like the version of the concept that people really wanted.
Yeah, it's still a traditional racing game in terms of like the meta structure, but like they kind of perfected all of their original things.
Someone says Dominator was the
Oh
first.
no, as someone who worked on the games after Burnout 3, I haven't played the ones after, and I have been hearing more good buzz recently about Paradise than I did when it came out.
Look, all I know is I had a bunch of friends that were like grumpy Xbox owners. But what does girlfriend mean? What? What? In context of this video game.
Maybe.
I'm glad you're not a game mechanic.
FM here, and we have plenty of takedown opportunities today, as we've set a route under the L. Those
Loves the game mechanic.
Whoa, that's deep.
Hello, I'm Striker. I'm Crash
If you're a
FM
person
here,
who
and
makes
we have
games, does
plenty
that make
of
you a
takedown
game
opportunities
mechanic?
today,
Like a...
as we've set a route under
No.
the L. Those pillars provide a great way to stack up the competition.
The song Girlfriend, apparently.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yes.
Oh, okay.
Oh god, this track.
I'm
Yeah,
like,
you were having trouble with that one.
I missed one. How far behind does it put you when you crash?
It's just the time, whatever the time is. That
This is a lot more interesting. This is giving me like stuff to do while I'm...
Except that you're in last place, so, or you're very close to last place, your chance of hitting someone is pretty low.
I do appreciate how you're not penalized for...
For going into the slow-mo.
I think that guy just... I think that guy flashed his headlights at me to warn me I was driving the wrong way. It's pretty good.
So you want to get into the incoming lane here so that you can start using your boost constantly. Because you've got a lot to catch up on.
Andy, it looks like it's time for some dangerous driving.
I feel kind of guilty, but I sort of like this song. Oh. The physics engine tried, it really tried.
I like the messaging of like how many seconds behind you are.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, no.
So because it gives you a really like it gives you that pressure to go and do
Nice.
the dangerous things because you're like, okay, I really need to catch up.
I like how there's a little bit of track knowledge there where you need to know about like the side selecting areas. Like they're actually making this seem like a real city.
No, which also like provides for some good opportunities for like nudging another car into ooh. So when you crash, what you often want to do is to try to get yourself kind of into the middle of the road, because that is the area that you're most likely going to have a car behind you run into you.
I see, that makes sense.
There's definitely a lot of impact
Nice.
Plus into bus.
where in another racing game you would you just bounce off something, where instead you just immediately crash, which I think is probably more realistic anyway.
Well, it's weird because they're rewarding you for bouncing off of things, but then they're making like this incredibly intense penalty for.
It's a lot of it is like the angle that you're hitting things at. So sort of like a safe angle and way to hit things, and then a you are going to smash angle,
I see.
which lets you do the sort of bouncing into enemies to like knock them to the side.
It's not boost right
I gotta say, this game is amazing at giving a sense of speed in terms of like all of the motion blow. This
Yeah.
probably is not coming through in the screen great.
This was also like the era where you could do these really. You just got to the point where you could do these really good reflections on the cars.
now. Yeah.
Everything is so shiny. Yeah, really boost.
Yeah, no, you really need to be like, you need to be driving a lot more aggressively if you're gonna get in the first place. Nice.
There you
Matt
go.
chat's saying that the math to figure out who actually took down who,
Nice.
I guess like when it's two cars hitting each other,
Oh god.
is funny, which I can imagine.
What's up, you guys? I'm Striker.
I didn't want to
I'm
know.
Trash.
I'm unlucky. Oh, that's good! When you fail, you can't hear the guy.
The AI cheats like hell. That's good. Like,
Yep.
what you want is for it to feel good and be a challenge, and it is both those things. See what racing events there are, because there's one I really want to make sure that we do some of. Go in?
I think it's just this one.
No, it'll open up a menu when you go in.
Oh,
All right, check this out. I'm Striker on Crash FM, and we
Do a road rage.
okay.
This is where the series starts.
So is it set up where there are like multiple tracks that are slightly overlapping each other? Because that would
Yeah.
be kind of interesting.
Cool. Yeah, I noticed that like you're taking like a different like
Engines are hot.
Yeah,
a
it sort of
route that
combines
doesn't
them in different
actually-
ways.
That's interesting.
I'd actually be really curious to know like how that stuff is set up in this one. I guess all the other ones afterwards are open world, so they're for sure just tracks laid out in a world, but it feels like this was already moving towards that. And that there is that overmap and then like different tracks combined
Yeah.
by blocking things off.
Apparently, Matt D in the chat, who worked on Revenge, revealing this after I was bad-mouthing all the post-3 games. Apparently, his game does have the same engine, so he knows some insider secrets.
Yeah, thanks so much for dropping in and sharing.
Yeah.
Hi, thanks.
So yeah, you really want to just be smashing as many of those as possible.
Nice!
Like it's just about the aggressive
Yeah.
driving.
So I actually have a question for Matt, if that's okay. Did y'all intentionally like the weight of the cars in the physics engine? Is the weight like realistic to what that car would actually weigh, or did you do kind of like an intentional making things lighter? Because it seems like things get a lot of kind of like entertaining air that might not happen in the real world.
Okay, so only Paradise was, so I guess people really didn't like that at the time, even though now people do really like it. Man, gamers are terrible. Like the amount, it's like, oh, this is new, I don't like it, and then you never see another.
Okay, that felt really good.
I like signature takedowns.
Oh! Yeah, there are takedowns that are specific to each map,
Nice.
or like areas of maps. So anyone that has this bit has a specific takedown for like slamming them into those poles.
I like that he got me with the bullshit that I got one of his guys with.
Yeah, that felt good. That wasn't just you crashed into a pole. That was you crashed into a pole for a reason.
I love how smashed that car looks.
It's good. Matt says he didn't work on the driving sim, but there are 2 physics systems, and the driving is heavily biased and faked to be fun.
Well, yeah, it would not surprise me that it would have a different system entirely for crashes.
Yeah.
That extremely follows.
So, funny thing, even Russian Subway Dogs does that. After you die, I fuck with the
Yeah.
physics so that impacts are bigger, so that when a bear hits you around, it'll hit you like higher up.
Amazing.
Just because it'll look funnier.
That's really funny.
Okay, so yeah, this is one of the signature ones.
Amazing. See, this
Pillow
is the
Triller.
this is the attitude that the Crash FM guy ought to have, right? Like signature car crash.
I feel like the Road Rage ones are almost like, it's not that they're challenging, they're kind of like the reward for having done some of the other modes. Because they're just like purely the thing, like it's like eating just a huge amount of cake. Like just
Road
cake.
Rage is the crashes, or Road Rage is what you just did.
Road Rage is the one where you're just trying to crash as many cars as possible while you race.
Yeah.
Like it's just about slamming into them while going fast.
Oh, interesting.
So it's like every single one of those blue cars was a car you could take down. You just had to take down enough of them within the race, like within a time limit.
Interesting. Doing. Who's this band?
Just say this is a really good looking game for an original Xbox game.
So I
Like,
don't
I know
know.
it's looking a bit better because we're playing it on an Xbox 360, but I don't think.
This was. I mean, this. People made a big deal at the time as this being like one of the best looking games of like that generation.
Yeah, no, and I can definitely say like it looked really good at the time as well.
I feel like there's a thing with like racing games or
Okay,
one of the.
slam him. This is one
No.
where you're trying to get a special car, so
Yeah.
you're just racing as one other person. They really did try to like get as much variety out of you're in a car racing down these tracks as possible.
I feel like that's definitely like something that often is hard in any sort of driving game at all. Is like getting enough variety so it's not just like you're driving perfectly.
Yeah.
And Miguel, I know you didn't like the driving in this as much, but I feel like we talk a lot about Driver San Francisco for.
Which I like everything about except for the driving.
But one of the really good things is that it had like a bunch of different modes that you could do with your
Yeah.
your driving verb set. So like.
It is also probably the driving game with the best writing, which is weird. to
Yeah.
say, but it's
No,
extremely
incredible writing,
experimental.
actually.
Yeah.
Like I love the storytelling in that.
I think it was you who got me to play that because you explained what it was
good.
about.
Yeah, possibly.
Yeah, I love how all the little ways you can gain a bit of boost, like driving near things and getting near misses
Yep.
does it.
I really love that. The
I like how when you're. I like how
Yeah.
if you're in the wrong lane.
Yes!
oh, that felt good. Like I know there was a lot of rubber banding to make that possible, but still.
I like how if you're in the wrong lane and you see someone driving the same way as you, you're like, that's my rival.
Yeah.
The funny thing is if you drive any of the races in Asia, suddenly the wrong lane is on the other side and completely messes you up.
Oh, that's good.
So used to driving.
Yeah, that's really good.
This is the one car that you should care about because it has a ridiculous photographic flame job.
Oh, hell fucking
That's-
yeah.
I like the
Perfect.
license plate. Are any of these? Wait, do any of the player cars have license plates?
I'm
Like
not
nothing
sure.
about this seems legal. But Like, I noticed that the civilian cars all have... What should I do?
For one thing, Crash FM
yes.
is not
Yeah,
a
do a Crash
valid
FM,
radio
so you
call
haven't done
sign.
it yet.
Junction available for you burners in the
I feel like racing games are one of the games that have, like, the potential to be photorealistic, like, before other genres.
Yeah. Partially because they go so fast, so you can get away with like lower quality textures.
That, like,
Red trigger.
everything's metal.
I love the flags look like they might just be a flat texture. But they look
Oh, yeah,
really
here we go,
good.
here we go.
Oh!
Do I press a button?
If you get a crash breaker. And then you can blow up, and you can drift during this, so you can move yourself back into the way of the other cars. So like, as you get into the harder ones, like being able to get that is really important because you can get yourself into another whole lane of traffic, like another cross.
Oh, I see.
Over. The early ones are quite easy, and then it gets very, very puzzly.
I didn't create as much of a wreck as Christine did. I'm a terrible bad driver.
I mean, they lined up a bunch of really expensive stuff in that first one.
Silver metal. Yeah, I was in the first one. I was really trying to imagine. May I try that one more time?
Yeah,
Go for it.
or try a different one if you want to.
I want to see like how this could have gone a little different. Oh, actually, the goal's pretty low.
If you
Can you
wait,
spin out? Sorry, if you wait.
if you wait before going in, there's a thing where it'll like not now. It doesn't matter,
Mm-hmm.
but you can see it does sort of a flyover, so you can see where all the power ups are.
Oh, that's interesting.
That gets you the speed.
And then,
There, you could have gotten that silver one. You drove too well. So you missed, like, what you really want to do is smash stuff up in an intersection.
oh wow. Okay, I want to hit those buses. I want to get there. Yeah, that was a really cruddy crash. That wasn't very
I
good.
think you want to hit those buttons and then explode and fly over to the other set of buses. Can you do that?
Yeah.
You want to try?
Sure. Was it this one?
Crash
It was the
Junction?
one on the right.
No.
Yeah, that one.
This is going to be a serious stacking car setup. The downtown traffic is backing up and the opportunities.
What if
are
you have
ripe.
phone
Get burned.
vibrations on because it is
Is
very
it
audible
that?
on the stream? Oh,
Oh, oops. I had my vibrations on, but
No, I think it's a tablet.
it's a tablet.
maybe, yeah, that would actually be
It's
touching.
right next to the
yeah.
microphone, so
Let me,
And slamming at
The chat asks who it is that is buzzing. It is in fact you, the viewer.
I've got it on Do Not Disturb. That hopefully will stop it from doing
Miguel
that.
still has Twitter notifications on, which is wild.
Oh, so yeah, you don't want to crash too soon, because then you lose the opportunity of those bad.
Not intentional.
Like, they really do start to get puzzly, where you've got to be thinking about exactly where you want to do stuff, how you can chain things together with your explosion.
Extremely not intentional.
I find myself like trying to figure out like the implied narrative of these things. Like, why were all of these RV trucks just parked, like blocking 3 lanes of traffic? I could imagine reasons, but I don't know.
Man, I love downtown.
My belief is this is a game played by billionaires using remote control cars.
That would
Like
explain.
full-size remote control cars.
That would explain why the
Personally, my belief is that this is all just a simulation, the conditions of which were set for optimal amusement by an incomprehensible and omniscient creator.
You know what would actually be an interesting challenge is like,
Buddy, that was all on you. I did not influence that.
maybe everyone's just really bad drivers. Oh, you didn't crash brake.
Didn't have enough hits.
Yeah.
You need to get at least like 10 things to hit each other.
I got a bronze medal just by driving stupid enough that it distracted everyone into.
The Crash Junction
Yeah, these cars are empty, I think.
Yeah.
But I was gonna say like the whole like bored billionaires thing would definitely fit with the Crash FM guy who's like trying to pretend as if this is all normal. Like maybe that guy is actually like just constantly miserable that he is not just.
Okay, got Crash Breaker.
Okay, you got a couple
Drift
buses.
yourself over, do it over.
Doing my best, doing my best.
Hear sirens. Oh, you did. No, you didn't do as well as my. Oh,
Oh,
no, you
okay.
did it. Driver LA was the one where you were. Yeah, Driver San Francisco was the one where you were in a coma.
And that's the one that we're talking about that had an
Yes.
amazing storyline. I just like driving was very realistic, which is not what I look for in a driving game. Whereas this feels really good to me. Like this has amazing game feel. Like, the
I
way the
mean, it
crashes
was realistic
feel.
until you like were doing the missions where
Oh, yeah.
you have to possess people in different cars in order to slam them against
I'm talking
other
about-
attacking cars.
I'm talking about what the driving felt like, not what the like the meta stuff going on was.
What's up, you guys? I am Striker.
Doing a car chase in which you are in the car chasing you is definitely not realistic.
Well, looky here. You've earned your right to go head to head. Remember what you learned.
You know, something like this, I feel like it's entirely about like making good game feel
Yeah.
rather than making
No,
realistic
definitely.
driving.
Actually, I
It
feel
feels
like
really responsive, feels good, feels like you're going really fast.
a thing I like is how like the car feels like it's not. You're not really controlling it very much, but you really are. Like it kind of swerves in this weird way.
It feels like there's some sort of hinting to make sure that it's going the right way.
It definitely feels like you're driving like slightly out of control because like you wiggle the.
That's pretty meta though, being in the car chasing the character. It's almost like Memento style. Yeah, that game is like...
It is absolutely the Memento of driving games.
Yeah, no, it is super the Memento of driving games. Like it is...
In like the best way possible.
Yeah. It is very sort of much mainstream experimental film, but also a driving game.
Outduel.
Four-wheel flip out.
I really like how they punish you for doing badly. Or not punish, they reward you for doing
Reward
badly.
you, yeah. I like when we get to Excite Truck, it also does its own sort of take on how to reward you. I don't think it's as imaginative as this is in terms of that. Like this has the trick thing at the bottom. It has the fact that you can do a little bit of that after-touch steering, which gives you something to do while you're watching yourself crash.
And I like that, you know, like there are good crashes and worse crashes.
I don't think there's any hinting or auto steering. Probably more that your swerving is more visual than actually making a big difference to actual motion. I'd be curious. So, when it's doing a cutaway to like show one of the crashes happening, is your car being auto steered in that situation, or is the game simulation going so slow that you're going to be okay? Because I've always wondered when it's doing those cutaways how it's dealing with that situation in the rest of the game, especially since it did have online multiplayer. How many cars have you unlocked?
Oh, good. He's wearing a helmet. Safety first.
Use special event.
We should try going to another continent.
That's
Yeah,
great timing.
like that.
Let's go to.
I think unfortunately it's just going to be a boring race, like just a race against yourself.
Where is this Hong Kong? Where are we?
I'm not sure.
I think this is Hong Kong?
Oh yeah,
Is that
you're with Crash
the
FM.
river?
Alright, don't panic.
So the cutaways were AI driven.
Oh, if we get to go on a bridge.
Marshals have confirmed it is completely safe. There is no risk to bystanders. Traffic, though, well, that's another matter. That was a public service announcement brought to you by Crash FM.
What?
Same as when you get a takedown, the AI takes over while the camera is following the crashing.
Hmm.
Disney, I could never think that you could do a car game where you could do cutaways.
It works though. Like,
Oh yeah,
I
no,
don't feel
it feels-
disoriented when it comes back.
And it feels really good to see, like, when you've, worked hard to smash that other car.
Here we go.
Oh, were you trying to drive on the right side? The correct side?
Do Hong Kong and China have different concepts of what is the right side? Like, what is the right side of the road to drive on? Well, I had a really full boost bar.
I think this might be one of the ones where you constantly have a full boost bar. It's about racing really fast.
Soft landing.
It's just those wheels going all over the mediocre punk music is a lot better when you're
Yeah, so you just have a full bar all the time.
alright. There.
You can see how fast this game must get when you get to the end of it, which I've never done, despite having played a ton of it.
I feel like we're starting to approach Uniracers levels of you need to memorize the track.
At this speed, yeah, it's...
Hong Kong does drive on the other side of China.
Okay.
Which I guess isn't super surprising.
No, at this speed you have to have memorized the track and you've got to have incredible reflexes to deal with incoming traffic.
I think the thing that would be great is if like that would clearly be possible in the Xbox, but it would be great if they didn't have the invisible walls outside the track and you just like saw the cars colliding with the buildings and stuff.
It helps to just drift all the damn time.
Okay. That's what I was trying to do initially, but like the drift doesn't seem like it's got a lot of control, you know? Like I feel like almost every time I try to drift I wind up going just a little bit out of control. Ah, I need to go on the right side.
I think it was during one of these that my friend Parrish managed to get tire tracks on the skybox.
That really feels like a bug that they probably would have found and decided not to fix.
Yeah, that is not...
That's a good-
That is a bug you keep.
You didn't qualify.
If we get another road rage one, Andy should give
I don't
that
think I've
a
done one of those
try.
yet.
I think you might be able to redo them, so...
I'm also not very good at the demolition derby stuff.
Good way to learn.
Fair. Those rims? Like the Z?
I would not do this one. Like, let's do some more of the main thing because it is more interesting. If you want to switch to my save game, I've got some of the muscle cars.
I think that would be good, especially because like when do we want to switch over? It's about 10. Like maybe do a half hour or so on your save file.
Yeah.
Because you got the ridiculous cars.
I don't have super ridiculous cars. When we get to Excite Truck, I've got a very far in one. I only picked this up recently. Like I originally played it on an original Xbox. Okay, I think I go into driver details.
So-called Oxbox.
Load profile.
Yeah, that's fine.
Profile 1. So this is still fairly early in the game, but we at least do have the next set of cars available. And if you want to see really fast, well, I was going about the same speed as that. Oh, okay, these are crash events in Europe. It's pretty slow to get you the new track areas. Ah, road rage event. Perfect.
Back again. I can't believe what I'm seeing. There are huge RVs.
And the muscle cars, you want to choose the top one because it's heavy, so it's especially good for slamming into things. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, black.
Oh god, anyone else work in this era of the consoles have terrible flashbacks of the TRCs and removing memory cards while saving?
Oh,
I've heard about that sort of stuff and it sounds like it was absolutely terrifying. As someone who's about to go into the TRCs in this era and already am overwhelmed.
yeah.
So you want to be hitting all of those blue cars. Those are
Hitting
your...
the blue. Okay, so I actually don't want to be driving on the wrong side this time. Speed is not the
Unless
point.
they're on that side.
Yeah.
Just escaped? Yeah, I'm not going to be able to...
You're just trying to be aggressive here.
Like that.
Yeah.
Is there any penalty at all
Or
to...
that.
Is there any penalty at all to crashing?
I can't remember. It's all about...
Still
like,
want to
you
use
got-
boost though.
Yeah.
I can't see the color of the card. Oh,
No, not the car. It's the little thing above.
the arrow.
The arrow
Okay.
above. So your goal here is you've got like 3 minutes and you've got to smash as many cars as possible.
but only the ones that have blue things.
Only the ones with the blue arrows above them. Like that one.
Did I get it?
I think you did, but you also got yourself. Oh! You get permanent smashing. So I think it's after a certain number of crashes you also just get kicked. If I remember correctly. It has been a long time since I've done.
What's the fun of that?
Yeah, so you can only crash a finite number of times.
Boring.
That
Look at
seems
that great
reasonable.
crash. Look at all those bonuses I got.
I don't think it's counting kills that you get when
It may not be.
when you die as well,
Yeah,
Probably not.
because you're still at 2.
yeah. Nice.
America!
That is so funny.
Patriotic.
Nice.
Nice, 3 in a row.
Whatever that means.
You've done 3 without dying.
Ah.
God,
Hey, that was a
bless
good-
this great bullshit.
That was actually some pretty good, right there. That was some good,
Psych out, so that's why you did it,
Oh,
by making one
nice.
of them smash by messing with their AI.
Takedown avenged.
I love just you being a more and more smashed wreck.
Yeah, no,
they've
that's
got
really
a good sense of, like, what is important to keep track of.
It also, like, it both looks great and is funny and helps sell the idea that you can only crash so many times.
Oh, I just realized that the, I like all these terrible punk songs that are just slowed down. It's good. I just
Yeah.
want to listen to them like this all the time. Just, like, doom metal out of pop punk.
The sound design when you crash is really, really good in this.
Yeah, they choose not to slow certain things down. I only just realized that, like, the little diagram.
Now have a go at this one.
Yeah.
Just because I love smashing things. This game in some ways is just like pure id.
I like how the aftertouch diagram is showing you which way you're leaning.
Smashes are the most fun thing in car games, therefore we'll make a car game entirely about smashes.
Smart.
We want a car. So many of these things have the exact same stats, which I think if I was more into cars, I'd be like, oh, this is supposed to be this one. But is not a big car person.
What's up? I am Striker, up on the roof of the
No, I
park
want
building.
that mode again.
So I gotta point something out.
All right, check
On the
this
Hong
out.
Kong map,
Striker on Crash
we were
FM.
crossing a bridge and we were not paying the toll.
Ready to restart it. I'm glad to see it return back home.
Paradise is great crumple shots when your car crashes.
Nice.
All right, Crash FM listeners, I'm Stryker and I got a question for you. Can you stand the heat
No.
burners? If you can,
I can only imagine how good the crashes have gotten in later ones in this series,
Yeah.
given how good the ones at this point are.
I do like it, like tracking your door flying off.
Yeah.
Wanna be sedated. Oh man.
Oh!
Oh. Man, they just went in for the kill there.
Yeah, no. So I am gaining boost in this from my takedowns, and that helps me with the getting the speed to really knock people out. Because if you're going fast enough, the side knocking on the physics is like
Gotta make a decision.
Yeah.
Man, you do not have a friend for that car.
I'm gonna be honest. I don't think you're getting the deposit back.
oh no, we're in the streetcar tracks.
That's not safe.
Yeah, like a little nudge does a lot if you're going fast enough.
Do we know where the America section is? Is that
Not
up Denver
sure.
or something? It looked like it was somewhere kind of in the middle of the US. There was a mountain and a lake.
Oh. Sunroof skid.
Oh no, not the sunroof. I like these, like the public transit lines above you. They give you a good sense of your movement.
Yeah, the game is so good at getting that sense of speed, like the motion blur, the way that the camera,
Yeah.
whoa, stuff shifts as you're going faster.
Nice.
Nice!
Nice.
You're a killer.
Oh!
I see now why you let me drive when we took that trip.
I do not have a license and clearly should not
Clearly
have
not.
one. Oh, okay. Hit the edge of that more than I. I'll catch up. Don't leave me, guys. Don't leave me. I thought we were friends.
I think it was actually playing a different song when you crashed.
It's just playing like a noise track.
Yeah. I think it would probably be unnecessarily expensive to actually slow down the track, just computationally while you're.
Well, I don't know about that, but it might not
I mean,
be
given that you
convenient.
can't tell the difference.
Yeah, it might not be convenient in their engine, for example.
Honestly, they also just get better weird sounds.
They
from
do,
what they
yeah.
chose.
Like all you have to do is make you think that that's what's happening.
Yeah, I was really shocked how good slowed down punk sounded, and then I'm like, oh no, it's just slowed down sounds that sound good.
But if you can, keep it tuned to Crash for all your racing info. It is Crash FM.
Oh, it's the other one good song. It just feels so good to just be like constantly smashing the other cars into the edge. I really love that mode.
Oh, Miguel, it's because you have on this profile only.
Oh yeah, I forgot. This is the one that I had set to just have.
Where is
those.
it? Settings?
Yeah.
I really hope that I Want to Be Sedated is not silenced on.
How to?
You may have to go through and turn on.
Like, funeral for a friend.
I remember the first time I found this menu and realized how many more songs there were than I thought, because so many of them sound the same.
Nice. Is Pennywise good?
Who are you asking? Chat?
I don't know. Myself, maybe. I think I've heard of Local Age. I've heard of Reggie and the Full Effect. They have Rise Against. That's the band that doesn't have Laura Jane Grace in it.
I really hope I didn't accidentally. Oh wow, I sure did.
I'm so
having
sorry.
a fun time.
Unfortunately, we can't put a custom soundtrack on this. I tried a bunch of stuff, and because it's running on a 360.
Yeah, that was a feature in the in the normal version.
Yeah.
I like how we're just listening to like the first 3 seconds of a series of punk songs.
Someone is telling us that Ocean Avenue by Yellow Card is good.
Okay. Let's just put that. Oh my god! They have Skrillex's original band in this.
All I want is a 4th chord.
Skrillex will not deliver it to you. Burnout Paradise Remastered is on Origin Access, not Express.
What's Origin Access?
Oh,
I assume it's something. I don't know.
Alright, let's craft some
I
shit.
assume it's something to do with EA's Steam thing, which is easier to obtain than other things.
Ah, the crash junctions are open for business. How much damage can you create?
This must have been one of the first games to have motion blur. So that was not a common
That sounds
feature.
plausible.
That era. Oh wow, that is a lot of buses.
Oh, they have high hopes for you in this one.
I don't know if I'm gonna be able to.
And you're driving a pickup truck. I've never gotten to the point where I unlocked like the fire truck or anything like that. Oh, get that 2x!
I'm trying.
You can do it, Christine. Oh.
When you get the crash breaker, use
Yep.
it to try to steer towards it. Oh, no.
Very close though.
I feel like you did some good damage.
Very
I think
close.
so.
Origin Access is EA's subscription service.
Man.
So that you can get all of your EA favorites. Like...
Get the stragglers.
just some,
Must have been a bit of a job getting the AI for the camera swoop.
Yeah, no, it's really good.
they ought to
And
treat
like
it-
that's really funny, the catching up with the
They ought to treat it like Starfish and like all the extra tires. It's gonna cost you another like $40,000 to attach a car to it.
It's about causing as much damage as possible. Smash!
Thanks, Crash.
Nice, got the gold. Yes! Oh no, but did you?
Yeah, I don't think that actually.
Yeah, you're not gonna get it. Oh wait, maybe.
Nope.
Oh no. You got it.
Oh.
Well, alright.
I think the doubler probably made up for the missing
Oh.
a bunch.
Oh. Yeah. Okay. Why aren't they counting like the damage to the goods that got knocked off the truck? I think they would.
Yeah, okay, so it matters more that you get that then. Although, still wanna...
Yeah.
I think 365 was the.
Okay, so I think the strat here is to, in fact, like...
Yeah. Okay.
cool. A shinier pickup truck.
Those European drivers are maniacs, giving us a
How
perfect way
about
to
the
blend
tram?
in. These snow-filled streets are a great place.
Oh, is this another crash mode one?
I thought so.
Those European drivers
Showing the
are maniacs.
vibrations
Pump
again.
up the tram.
No, I think that's my phone.
These snow-filled streets are a great place to cause some mass crash and
What's the
spire
green?
devastation.
Oh, was that an X4?
I'm gonna just keep my hand on this so that I can tell whether it's. Oh wow, a 4x.
Yeah,
See if you can crash
I don't
break
think
it.
I did enough
If you
damage.
can cause some. I like how the problem is that if you're in the middle of things, you're just trapped in by cars and you can't.
Yeah. Can you? Oh.
Can you jump it?
I can't
Oh.
jump it.
Can you jump it 3D? Oh, you got so close.
Damn it.
What's your target number? Because that would have taken you to like the 650. If you'd made the 4x, that totally would have.
Oh shit.
They really want you to just play this again and again and again, like 80 times.
Yeah, it is that sort of like getting the perfect.
Can I try the crash one?
Wanna?
Top tips to succeed on the alpine slopes. You want it?
What was it?
If it's got a hollow on it,
Winter
it's
City
one
eye
that's
in the
already been
sky?
done.
All right, try and launch your.
I'm a little curious about the Riviera one.
Those European
That is
drivers
clearly
are
a
great,
Viennese
giving us a
Viennese streetcar and
perfect
clearly
way to
not
blend.
European
These snow-filled
street.
streets are a great place to cause some mass crash and spire devastation.
I think they definitely like have cheated to make these intersections as good as possible for the gameplay versus what they'd actually be.
Viennese car accident sounds like some kind of missing link between Trip Hop and Punk. Vienna, of course.
Oh fuck. I wish there was a faster reset.
Yeah. It was especially bad on the original Xbox because the reload was really slow.
Hmm.
Like the car alarm.
Yeah.
Can I hear that one?
I wanna try it again.
You want to be my Winter City eye in the sky?
I feel like if you can actually just like your best strategy almost seems to just be go through the
No, I agree.
That or over if you can get some air.
Hmm.
I don't know if there's a chance to.
I think the problem is that like you just get like pinned in. Oh well. Oh man, you never made.
I hate.
Did you just surprise them? In the...
The AI
Again.
reacts to minor things.
That was on you, buddy.
Hey, might get the 2x.
Yep.
This might turn out to your benefit just because like. I like how much the little like diagrams look like something out of the news, like. I'm gonna go great.
So I think the company who made this and then made the golf game, like the people who moved on to a new company made the golf game, did make a thing that was just this mode, but because they didn't have the money to do like the big world things, they all happened in sort of an abstract room,
It's interesting.
which sort of like it's unfortunate. The
Is this
core
one we've been
gameplay.
doing?
Sorry?
Is this the one we've been doing?
No, the empty circle. Empty square. Yeah, that one.
This one.
No, that one. The other one.
Okay. Sorry.
Yes, the new Crash Junction is live in Winter City. Get ready to.
This weird thing where like the gameplay in this should be pretty easy to program in modern engines, etc. But to actually get all of the city streets is actually still a bunch of art.
Yeah.
So weirdly, this mode relies on the fact that they were making a AAA racing game.
I wonder if you could get...
to feel as good as it does.
Although apparently some of the stuff does not withstand scrutiny of our European audience.
Yeah.
You know what I want to do? Okay, I figured out the trick. You want to just pause for a moment so you can get past that thing.
If you wait too long, you'll miss a bunch of the potential.
I suspect that there's like an indefinite flow of cars.
I'm not sure if that's actually the case. We can give it a try, though.
I'm gonna give it a shot.
And then we should probably move on to Excite Truck.
Oh, yeah.
There's somebody saying, yeah, Danger Zone. It's good, but not as good.
I was about to make a joke about open street maps, but like actually the trick here. So there's that game that Carboys was based on. That was just like some kind of like some kind of a
left.
Junction.
Left?
Got a line of trucks just waiting
Not this
for
one?
some
Yeah, not this one.
international
Okay, thank you. I'm really having a problem with this one.
Those European drivers are
So there was whatever that like simulation game was that Carboys was based on. That was like something sort of like Europe Truck Simulator, but it was just a set of really, really realistic physics, and then almost everything that people played on that was like user content. So like in that case, they just made a really, really good engine. Okay, I totally did not do anything different than I did last time. Like I wasn't even paying attention to what I was doing. This is
Okay, go to Buzz again. I'm just gonna keep this on my lap for a bit.
Okay.
Okay, yeah, this is buzzing. Let me try to figure out the settings for that and turn it off.
if you just tap down a few times on the volume thing on the side.
I'm not sure if that works in this particular version of Android.
Should I try that one more time?
I've already got
Actually,
alarms. Yeah, no, I don't have an option here.
maybe it's the charge somehow. Oh, replay. There's a replay button. All right, I'm gonna try one more time, and this time I'm going to actually
You
pay
just-
attention to
You
it.
just did continue.
I wish retry was the top selection.
I pressed the red button though.
No, but go down to retry.
Oh,
Replay is replay
okay.
a view of it.
Take one insane burner, a street filled.
All right, now let's see if they cheat with the spawning of the.
I mean, probably. It'll be smart too.
That'd be smart too. Oh fuck. Well, swerved around the bus. There's probably like.
Let me give it a shot.
Weird.
Yeah. There's probably like a very like. I feel like they want you to play this like again and again until you get it. There's probably a really specific amount of time to wait that gives you like an ideal clear shot through. But also, you're not actually causing very much chaos if you shoot through the intersection like that.
Those European drivers are maniacs.
They must have like really carefully placed that for it.
These snow-filled
This
streets
may not
are
actually have a
cause
way
some
to turn
massive
off
crash and
the
fire
vibration.
devastation.
What?
Android is kind of a
It's
problem.
very fragmented.
Usually there's like a separate.
Yeah, I'm in sound and notification. And there's vibrate on touch.
You know, I think that there's just a button for disable all vibration.
Yeah, it's not in this version of Android.
Sounds and notification, other sounds. You see a button that says other sounds? No. Hey, what was that red sign? Is that like a pre-crash break or something?
No, that was just a place you can't go.
It's about causing as
Get
much
chat
damage as
back up.
Okay, what Crash Overflow explains is upgrade to Android 9.0. but apparently it's under accessibility.
That is not necessarily an option on this $2.
I don't think it's an option on anything. Android Pie came out about a week ago. Actually, you actually kind of got a clear shot to.
No.
You did.
So the thing people are suggesting are the places I was looking, except for dumping it in water, which I'm not going to
Oh,
do.
so close.
Yeah, that might have actually.
See, I really like this as a racing game, but it also does have just a really good puzzle mode that is incredibly
Yeah.
addictive, as you two are now
This
finding.
is fun.
Which is really good, because the thing that is really good with racing games is to have something to break up your time, so you're not just doing the same thing
Yeah.
over and over and over.
Well, and this is definitely the two-player racing I did not do a lot of. The passing back and forth with friends trying to get a better and better crash, I did a ton of.
Yeah.
It is a very good hot seat game. Like the same way that you play like Super Monkey Ball.
No! I almost got the Crash Breaker.
Almost. Dangerous driving is Epic Store only.
Yeah, I'm already in Do Not Disturb mode. Alarm only. Total silence. Okay.
3 steps to
I've
filling
set it
one.
to total
Number
silence.
1,
That should
use
hopefully
crash
do
narrow
it.
to find yourself a busy crash junction. Number 2, hit the
Yeah. This one had 2-player split screen, but I don't think I had 2-player split screen in this mode.
Which
That would be
makes
funny.
sense.
Yeah. I think
not sure
it
how
may
that
have
would work.
had that online.
Huh.
So you could do co-op things. I can't remember exactly which multiplayer modes there were. We could have a quick check and see if there's a multiplayer mode of this.
I like how Christine has figured out the cheat is to not pick up the boost.
You want to be my Winter City eye in the sky?
I remember handing this one around at the college apartment. We'd get drunk and hand the controller around. Oh, that just explodes when you hit it? Or
Shit.
blow yourself back towards the intersection.
That's what I was thinking.
It's Friday night. Time to
Oh,
drink a
but
beer and crash
you
into
did
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
There's no accidents happening, so you're not getting
Yeah.
it. Go into multiplayer and check what modes there are with this.
Can I try a...
Crash
Oh,
FM here in
I want
Winter
to try one specific thing that was on the
Alright,
map before.
I'll do one more and then that's it.
Okay, you get one, I get one, and then...
We have a quick look at the multiplayer to see if there was a multiplayer mode of this that was split screen or not.
And then trucks.
Yeah.
Nice.
Did it do a hit pause on some of those?
No!
There was one time that you almost got it, but
It's hard to...
Yeah.
I wasn't quite sure of the angle. I wish the camera
Crash
was...
mode is tearing the family apart. So I know what to throw on next time we're just hanging around after watching a movie and want something to do.
apparently. Okay, continue gets me out, right?
Yep.
Okay. I just want to know what a crash on the French Riviera is like.
The art of Riviera crashing.
Are there any arcade racers being made these days? Big budget ones? I know that there's indie stuff being done, and I know that there's the hyper realistic car games.
Alright, here we go.
I don't know. It's not something
it really did is just create a slight obstruction.
Oh wait! Friends!
Fortunately, these are the dumbest drivers in the world.
That guy
Which
didn't
is
even...
surprising, because I don't know how they got all the way from Montreal to Europe that quickly.
The dude over there... Oh, come on.
I'm curious whether the AI gets turned off on the cars after the first impact.
Okay, so I don't know if you noticed this, but
Yeah.
that truck, he saw
They're definitely
an
doing
obstruction
something.
in the opposite lane going the other way, and it freaked him out so much, he just lost control. He just took his hands off the wheel, like heavens to Betsy! But in French. Christine, what's French for heavens to Betsy?
Someone's saying they're helping.
Everyone's like,
Like,
I'm
you
oh,
like
suggesting
it? Like,
Mario
it's-
Kart as a... I think Mario Kart is a kart racer, which feels different than an arcade racer to me.
yeah.
Like, you can't smash in a... in either meaning of the word in Mario Kart.
I appreciate the replay mode.
That's important. Okay, so let's back up and see whether there was a...
This song's not bad.
Okay, so I think Double Impact or Team Crush may be the online one where you could do
Huh.
crash mode. Okay, so Party Crash, players... Okay, yeah.
This is hot seat.
So this is the hot seat mode.
Got it.
So you could do like this, one round. Lock car type, no. Random junctions, yes.
Did y'all ever play,
And it's only the ones that we've managed to unlock so far.
That's a pretty good one. Did y'all ever play Boom Blocks?
Only a little bit.
That was very much a game based around just, it is fun to, oh, that's not, that's concerning. Like, just from
Huh.
the perspective of,
So I think like you're supposed to survive for a while in this.
if you can get all the way to the end, there's a 4X.
Yeah.
What would be really interesting is if you could psych out cars by driving right past them and thus cause crashes that way, but
That
still...
does work with the enemies. I don't know whether it works.
I feel like this might be an instance
whoa.
of boost is not your friend.
Yeah.
Nice!
I'm realizing this.
Nice!
On the other hand,
Oh, I love it!
wow. I wonder how far the bounds can go.
I've been waiting for that to be legal all along.
Also, I did do random intersection, which I think means it's giving us an intersection that's like randomly, semi-randomly generated.
Huh.
It might just be picking one at random.
Yeah.
You know what? I kind of want to just see if I can survive.
No, I think that's the, I think that might be the pro strat.
Alright, aiming for the 4.
Get the gold, get the gold.
I will
And
never
the girls
play
and
this
the
completely.
guns.
It still wouldn't be enough, Christine. It still wouldn't be enough.
Well,
It's
you've
all
got a
hand-
crash breaker!
Miguel,
Actually-
it's all hand placed,
Okay.
which makes sense.
Yeah.
Like I don't know if it.
No, they did like an elaborate AI algorithm to like simulate population movement inside a city for weeks, like kind of SimCity stuff, and it determined that there would be 9 buses parked at this one intersection.
So it's just randomly picking from all of the different crash things.
That's
That
good,
is probably
especially if-
better because I don't think you could make as good ones.
No.
Making an auto generator for this seems hard.
Wait,
Like, really
where's
easy.
my? Did you pick 3? Oh, okay.
Yeah. It's just loading. It feels like the type of thing that would be very easy to do a bad auto generator
Yeah.
Yeah.
and quite hard to get a good one because of the puzzle aspect of it.
Well, a big part is like memorizing what's going to happen so you can like dodge around a car or something.
No, and like where each of these is placed to create
No!
interesting
You got the gold though.
interactions.
Oh jeez.
Oh, nice. May have waited on that crash breaker until you had more.
I mean, you can't wait too long though, because
That's fatal.
Optimus Prime, please stand up.
I think we know who won this one.
Yeah.
Is that the first round that I did the best on? My polite, safe driving saved me for once.
Your polite, safe driving straight into a ditch?
And there's a valuable ditch.
At least it got me out of the way of that oncoming 16-wheeler. Woo!
So you could do multiple rounds as well.
Yeah, that's good.
Interesting.
I think what you would want to do is each pick a different car so that it's very obvious who's
Yeah.
who.
Okay, well, shall we switch
Yeah,
over to
let's switch
Cybertruck?
over. So I think this game sort of introduces like risk versus reward as an element to driving.
Yeah.
Excite Truck goes one further and it acts what feels like interesting creative choices to the driving. By taking all of the ideas in this and doing even more ridiculous stuff with it. Okay. This will take a sec. There are a lot of Excite bikes. Okay, info's updated. This is the one going in. Yep.
Switching out to we do.
I switched what it said we were doing. This game also has possibly even worse music. However, I have replaced all of the actual driving music with 70s stock jazz soundtrack music, which is what I like to race to.
I'm really surprised that the Wii, like a Wii game, had a custom soundtrack feature.
Put it on an SD card that's small enough.
Apparently this game was like made by some people in Minnesota, so probably they had been playing nothing but Xbox games for the previous 10 years.
So we're going to start with an empty profile, have you two go through the tutorial because there's a lot to learn, and also comment on some of the stuff.
Okay.
We'll do some basic races and then we'll open up some of the crazy cars that I have, which can get insane air.
So is this going to use the custom soundtrack?
Yeah, it should. And if it doesn't, we'll make it. Oof, I feel like we need to tone down this music somehow.
Okay.
Okay. It's like I can hear it from here, so it must be really loud.
Yeah. If you want to turn it down, I think. Do we have the thing hooked up for that?
It'll be fine once. Oh, it's actually not bad on mine.
Yeah.
Weird.
Part of it might be that I'm not wearing one of my things, so it's blasting in the air. Tutorial?
Yes.
Oh, it makes you start the tutorial. That's
You
good.
really need it for this because there are so many mechanics.
This was like... Yeah, okay. That's very complicated.
Is it though?
No. There was this period in the 00s where Nintendo decided that they were going to start just finding random shovelware developers and kind of turning them into second-party devs. And like, it worked once with,
Are you reading
yeah? Oh, God.
Down.
Yeah. It's like, you press... Oh. What?
I would suggest not talking well.
Yeah, sorry.
Also trying to learn.
Oh, and
because there's a lot to learn.
That's what I thought it said, but it didn't. Oh, I get it. I was waiting for it to tell me I could turbo.
No, you can turbo all the time in this game, but you can't overheat.
I like how the overheat is making a noise over here. Huh. The truck will stall in the air?
And not go as far, yeah.
That's not how...
That's probably how physics works.
I've driven a car. That's not how cars work.
Yeah, but you haven't driven a truck.
Suppose that is true. I've never driven a truck. I drove an SUV once.
So if you want to land sooner, you can tilt down.
Why would you want to do that?
You might want to hit a power up. Or another car.
Oh, or not go flying into the river, maybe.
The river actually is good in that situation.
Okay. Air turning. I'm really dubious about this.
Again, it's a truck.
You've only driven cars. Trucks are different.
And like honestly, like who are you gonna trust on this? Like the opinion of someone who's only who spent like the last 10 years of their life in California or Minnesotans? I expect they're experts in trucks.
What are you trying to do right now?
So there's a problem. So that you're supposed to turn in the air, but they don't tell you which direction.
What does it want you to do?
Tilt the remote left or right to guide your truck. Turn well in the air to reach the finish line in time. You're supposed to turn slightly to the left when you go airborne, but they don't tell you which way. So I've been turning slightly to the right while airborne, and it's not...
There you go.
Yeah, okay. So that was just really a precision steering mechanism, maneuver, something. Was that all the...
That's the first set of tutorials.
Okay. Do you
So
want to do
maybe,
some?
It would
Sure.
be good for both of you to get used to.
Yeah, try maybe the jump one or the, Oh, no, you're just gonna...
Yeah.
Plow right
I
ahead.
saw it.
You saw it. You got the idea.
This game feels more like a Sega game to me.
This
Like-
does feel very.
So if you go through water, you can keep boosting because it cools your engine.
It's a good... Does it stop your speed at all?
Nope. Not in any like obvious way.
It's a good mechanic. Is this just trying to get enough air?
Air also, I think, cools you.
Just not use the direct steering.
Yeah, no, it's... What? Oh,
Forward to go down, up to go further.
yeah.
And you probably want to be able to land wheels
Forward?
down. You tilt the way that you tilt.
So that's going to make you go down sooner.
Yeah. You're tilting
You
down.
probably want to do the opposite of that. You want to tilt it up.
Tilt
It's like-
up to go down?
No.
Tilt up to go up because you want to go up.
Yeah, you
I
want
thought I wanted to
jump.
go in the water to get more boost.
No, only the first time, because then you want to actually
Okay.
land that jump on the other side of that cliff.
Okay.
So boost through all of that. Yeah,
Nice.
there you go. So it's like just after you get into the air, if you hit boost again, it will give you a turbo boost.
Miguel, is this your music?
I don't think it is.
This seems like Nintendo tutorial music. So wait, what's this one teaching us?
Turbo jump. Which is when you do a.
Okay.
You don't need to do the upwards thing, you just need to tap.
So you don't need to do the jump part?
You should jump, but you don't need to do any sort of big action on it. There's no gesture stuff like that. There's some other gesture stuff you'll get to.
Okay.
Yeah, the whole like Nintendo adopting a random small American developer thing, like the first time they tried it, it resulted in the Metroid Primes.
Yeah, so I don't know why they tried it again after that.
And then the second time they tried it, it resulted in Geist.
I
But
don't remember liking Geist. I've got it somewhere. Over there.
really? You're the one. There was some. I liked like the scene with the rabbit.
I remember it being interesting, and
Yeah.
I will often like a game simply for being interesting and trying to do something new.
Yeah.
The multiplayer was not good. I remember that also.
Geist had multiplayer?
Yeah, it was not very good from what I remember.
Did it have the possession?
Yeah, I think so.
That's interesting.
Okay, here's one of the weirder things. So some power-ups don't give you a power, they change the landscape.
That's interesting. Matt D says, so this game is basically a weird version of Just Dance with incidental driving in between tasks to do gestures.
It has very little gesture stuff, actually. What you're doing there is you're doing tilting your yaw. It's just tilt control.
I think
There's
that's
one gesture thing which we haven't gotten to yet.
the thing that's interesting to me is the bit. Oh my goodness. I'm intrigued with the thing where you want to land wheels down.
It's basically the same thing as Uniracers had,
Yeah.
except it's land flat and you get some boost.
What did it say about hitting a tree?
It's great, you should do it every time.
Is that
You
what
can
you
go through trees while you're in this mode.
Amazing.
Nice!
Aww.
So yeah, what is it? Objective, drive through.
It's just making...
You can go right through those trees. Like, just get
Oh.
the power and keep going.
As I was saying...
And you'll get a super
What?
tree. Which is what you get for driving near trees for a while.
Oh, so close. This developer has a good website according to the stream. Let's take a look at this. Oh yeah, no, that's good. Test Drive Eve of Destruction.
Oh, close.
Lots of NASCAR games. I wonder if their NASCAR games are good. I wonder what constitutes a good NASCAR game.
This might be a controversial opinion, but I think a good NASCAR game would be one where you turn right.
Huh, interesting. Do you think
I
that,
know that's
like,
very iconoclastic, but...
in the 6th game
Oh,
of the series
nice, nice.
that-
Oh! How are you lot doing anyway at Spooky Squid Games?
Are you getting speed for the Super Tree Run?
Is the question from Matt D aimed specifically at me or at us on the couch? And you mean in general in the real world or within the context
it's-
of this game?
I feel like it's somewhat obvious how well I'm doing in the context of this game, to be honest.
I feel like it wants you to make the jump, but it's just not happening.
Do you want me to give it a try?
No, I think I
No.
need to...
You need to learn. I mean, you can be boosting already before that. Like, you should basically be boosting whenever you can.
It's interesting how this game would have been like several
There
years.
you go.
Nice!
Oh. If you'd boosted at the beginning, you would have been fine.
It's interesting to compare the car reflections in this to in Burnout 3. Was Burnout 3 being done like sort of like upscaled or in an HD resolution?
I think we may have been getting a little bit of HDizing,
Okay.
but it was in general a better looking game than this.
Well, this one has like a really complicated like reflection where you can like see all the trees you're passing reflected in the back of the car, but that doesn't look like normal. Woo!
Nice.
You're doing a good job.
Oh god, flashbacks. So stunts are the one thing where I like the idea of it. This is the one thing where there is a gesture, and I do not like the gesture. Air is fine, but it's when it gets into doing 360s and 720s.
Okay. We'll see.
But how are we doing on the chat couch? I don't know, we had a good meal before this.
It was really good.
Had some good dal.
I'm still kind of sleepy after that, to be honest. It was.
So when we want to try to land,
Is that?
yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
But when you're doing, you always want to try to like get yourself landing on all wheels at the same time.
Yeah. Drift.
Drifts are very simple in this game.
Okay. Is that a drift?
Yeah, you can see the drift. So actually along the side, you'll start to notice it shows you all of the things you are getting stars for at the moment.
Yeah.
Got it.
Um,
Oh, I really liked Sonic and the Secret Rings. Oh shit, what was that?
it's probably reminding you that you can
We are
tilt
playing this on a Wii U.
off of the disc. So if you maybe did a turbo, you may have gone high enough to get more wings.
Yeah, I was doing.
You can do a turbo right after you jump.
Can you
Yeah.
do turbo before and after
Yes.
you jump? Okay, I'll try that.
And you kind of want to. Just remember to keep your temperature in mind. So boost
Yeah.
and then boost. Boost, there we go.
Yeah, yeah.
There you go. Nice.
I knew what I was doing. Probably.
This is the thing I find hard. So it's hit brake and boost and do this
Oh.
as a gesture.
Freaking waggle.
Like I feel like the tilt controls work really well in this. And
Yeah.
then this is just annoying.
No, that's-
Because it's a gesture, it's not just doing motion tracking.
Yeah, it's the big problem with Wii gestures is that like anytime you're going to do something, there's always the question like, how much do I turn? And if you turn too much, you're going to be hurting your hand.
Also, sometimes it won't work at that point.
Yeah. Well, it's always like you have to decide: do you overdo it?
We're going to set our own soundtrack. We actually have to just go into the settings.
Oh, okay.
It already has that set up.
We're almost to the end of it.
Oh, we can't until we're done.
Yeah, so let's
these,
just-
I think. Once we're done these, we'll be putting our own soundtrack in. Which will be
Nice.
better jazzy music.
Is there like drag on non-road surfaces?
No, not really. Often going off-road is part of,
Okay.
like,
Road straps?
yeah, when we start getting into the... So that was a tree one, just going near trees. Which means anytime there are trees in the game, you can be thinking about how you can get some stars from them. Which is where it starts to sort of get creative in an interesting way. So you need to do that sooner.
I wonder if there's a way they could have introduced these ideas organically.
It would have been... I need to wait a little bit later. You need to wait until it's in that spot. It would have been too hard for people to learn all of this stuff, and all
Yeah.
of this stuff is really important for enjoying the game.
So I mentioned.
I mean, in general, if you see a tutorial like that, they probably tried something better
Yeah.
and like.
Okay, speed up. There you go, I think you got it.
Nice.
Yeah. Oh, did it count it? No, it didn't.
That looked maybe not completely physically accurate, but it looked really satisfying.
I feel like I got it.
Linear more? I think that one was just at like.
It was too far ahead, maybe.
I don't understand. Like it seems
That
to
was
go.
just. That second one was just at getting air.
Just go as fast as you can and hit the thing and see if that does it. There we go. We were trying to be too clever about it.
Oh boy.
What is it asking you to do?
Air spin. What is it?
It's.
Both buttons and...
There's no reason for this to not just be boost and press brake at the same time while in the air.
I don't understand. You said both buttons, then.
It's
B plus.
it's this and this
Oh.
while doing a quick sharp turn.
Okay.
And I think you might have to do it like two ways. Like one way sharp, the other way sharp.
So it's both brake and boost
Yeah.
and accelerate, or
No.
Brake and boost,
Boost.
but not accelerate.
And then a sharp. Yeah, you started to do it there. How many times did it ask me to do
You
it?
want to do it
720.
twice to 720.
Okay. This one was hard. I was trying to do this.
so
Today
let go of
beforehand.
accelerate, then brake them and
Yeah,
do
hold
brake.
both of them and do a quick sharp thing. But you're gonna need to get you're gonna need to use get a lot of air to pull this off because you need
Okay.
enough air to do it.
So boost, jump, then
Yeah. Boost now, quick. You're doing it too fast back. and
no,
forth.
it's not. I wasn't hitting boost.
Oh, okay.
Gestures ruin everything.
Gestures are fine. It's just not a good gesture. Like it doesn't feel deliberate.
One of the last weekends I played was for the Wii U. I got WarioWare Shake It, and I tried to play it without ever shaking. You can't get very far.
The thing with this is you're not going to need to do this on the easy levels of difficulty because there's enough other ways to get stars that you don't need to do this. You can kind of pick and choose. There you go.
Oh,
You did
nice.
it.
What? I don't understand. What?
Weird.
It wasn't counting
Where's
as
that
a.
play? Is it possible that they're like wanting you to do it as one continuous
It
move?
could be just as the one for and just do it again.
There's
Okay.
720. Oh.
Well,
Yeah.
now I'll never do it again.
Yep.
Here it's literally just the Burnout thing.
I like the thing with just like faster speed wins.
You mean in regular racing games?
In crashing.
Oh. I was confused. Like, the whole point of the ones we're spinning right now is that they aren't about that.
Well, it's like Burnout, if you actually collided with someone, that was like game over. But in this, it's like if you collide, whoever's going faster wins. Okay, 70s car chase music?
I don't feel like I learned anything there.
Let me just very quickly check. I'll run into one and then I'll back out. And we can see just to make sure that I've actually set that correctly.
It'd be too good if we could play Super Excite. I bet that's super exciting.
We'll get to later because I've got
There
that
we go.
open.
Not dither.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Perfect.
No. Oh, it's very quiet.
Nice.
Oh wait,
Or
that's
You're paused, so it's quiet.
no, but also I
think-
usually play it like this.
Oh, okay.
Because engine noises. So just restart. Oh my god! Just all of the cars flying in the background. See, here's where it gets interesting. Getting first place gets you a certain number of stars, but your goal is to get 70 stars, not to be first. So you don't need to be in first to pass this, or to get a gold. You can get a gold without actually even placing in third, if you get enough stars.
So cool.
Which means you can now start thinking about, like, where can I drift? Where can I get like a POW and get a tree run?
Do cactuses count for tree run purposes?
I think they might. Is there anyone I can aggressively hit? How can I change the track to open up an option? Like a good jump that I could get a bunch of points for?
Yeah, I don't know, I'm immediately thinking like, hey, could I get on top of one of those mountain things and would it benefit me, right? So it's like incentivizing me to think that way.
Yeah, like you often can't go too far off the track, but like in one case, there's a track where you can go off the side into the shoreline of a lake, which means you can just boost for that entire period because you won't overheat because you're in water.
It's really cool.
And so like if you were really good at doing those gesture 360s, you could do a bunch of those instead of being good at racing fast. Or you can be really good at racing fast and get that bonus at the end. So I think hitting the trees will reduce your tree runs. So if you can get that
What?
boost and not hit a tree,
I thought that was like what caused the super tree run.
no, it's just going through a lot of trees.
Even
like
when
past a lot of trees.
even when you had the POW?
Yeah.
Okay.
This is
Nice.
easier than the tutorials, but it's at a certain point you'd get blocked if you hadn't done the tutorials. Because once you hit the high level play and you're really having to think about it, not knowing.
Oh,
focus
okay.
on
You get
it,
50
etc.
stars for
Okay, 50. My mistake.
that is pretty good then.
So yeah, it is a lot easier, but there are definitely races I got through by just being really good at doing tricks, jumps, etc.
What genre of music is this?
Bad rock. So you can see how much air you get, grip, turbo, etc.
Oh, wolf. Yeah, green wolf.
It's like there's a weird, interesting trade-off here because it's no longer purely about racing.
Yeah.
The fact that you don't necessarily have to be first, it helps a lot.
So what kinds of like danger mechanics are there? Is it just crashing or? Oh my god, this music. This is amazing.
You're welcome for my weird taste in driving music.
It's good.
perfect.
It's good.
This is what I remember when I played this game because I played it always with this.
Yeah.
Nice.
It smashed into it. Ah, so close.
Yeah.
The coconuts. Knocked some coconuts off of there.
I do like that you get a star for a crash.
Yeah. No, that's a sort of
Just
like
one, but
Yeah.
you get that and you hit a button to boost, which is not quite as good as drifting into.
But it feels like a good like tie into like why you're immediately boosting once you get back
Yeah.
in. Like
And it gives you something to do while you're waiting
Yeah.
for the replay to go.
like it just feels satisfying
Yeah.
as a transition.
I feel like a thing that's like kind of demonstrated here is that like it's okay to give people rewards when they lose because like they lost, so like you're not unbalancing things by.
Yeah, it's sort of like they're
Remember, water's good.
but not too much.
But not too much. You look at the basically the color will get darker at the point that's dangerous.
I feel like every time I get really high in the air, I'm like, oh, I want to do a 320. Yeah, I like that. Press A to reset. Oh, that's interesting. Oh, that's not necessarily what I want to happen.
You know, that's way faster than turning around would be.
Oh. That's a good one. Yeah. Ooh. So, I feel like my brain just wants to aim for the trees, but I guess that's not what you're supposed to do.
Yeah,
oh, that hurled everyone to the air. That's
Yeah.
fun.
It definitely give you a lot of stars for truck smashes.
I like how you just continuously have. Oh, it's pretty good.
Hit boost. Two. Yeah, so you didn't get boost because you didn't do that. Oh, pow.
Too bad. I've got some kind of bad RSI, so like basically if a game is like, mash the B button, I have to kind of weigh like, do I care that much about...
Fair.
Like I can't do much.
So here it's lowering and creating an area you can just boost through.
That's great, actually.
Because of the water.
This reminds me a lot of,
I wish the boost effect was more conspicuous. It's like it's hard to tell that.
It's really conspicuous in Burnout. Whoops.
So those light bits would be safe to go in. There are the invisible walls. Because this has so much,
Yeah. But I do want to try like driving on the mountain over there or something, right? Like why don't you just go this way?
you will just smash stuff. It's not completely off-road because the amount of air you can get in this game would completely break the maps.
Yeah.
Like, we are not getting a lot of air yet.
Okay, that is some really good speed.
But you got that train. Because you lasted long enough through those trees, you got a bunch of stars.
I wish it was like rewarding me for going off-road instead of just like too close to trees. Because that was pretty close to trees, but it didn't count for anything.
It's not quite close enough. Nice!
Yeah, I was trying to do the...
Yeah.
I feel like if the rotate were something you could do consistently, it'd be like every time you're in the air, like, oh, I'm in the air, I'm in the air.
I got good at it eventually, like a lot of bad gesture stuff, you can get good at it, but it's, I don't think it was, I feel like in a game that has a lot of really smart, good decisions in it, it is the one thing that kind of...
Yeah. I feel like there's just an entire list of Wii games that I want to go back and mod so that they don't require gestures anymore. I'm playing this so much like the Burnout games. On the other hand, I guess I'm picking up a lot of stars.
Yeah, no, if you can now, like, get first. Now if you can get first, you'll pass.
Really? Oh, I see.
Yeah, I'm going to hit drop.
Oh, yeah.
Nice.
There we go, yeah!
Yeah, I can't think of a racing game that is as open-ended as this in terms of, like, creative approaches to winning.
Yeah, that's really interesting.
I feel like I'm actually really having to struggle to not hit a tree.
Yeah, you're, I think, going through, like, one of the alternate routes. That's the thing, it's like, on top of everything else, as alternate routes, and you can morph the terrain. So you can literally choose what version of the map you're doing.
So I thought I did really terrible, but...
No, you almost...
It didn't show me how... Do the other trucks get stars at all? Or is that
no, there's just a general goal and
But it's not like, oh, well, you got 40 stars and second place, but third place got like 50 stars. That's it. Only humans get stars.
Yeah.
Tink. Oh. We're in your hometown of Canada. Welcome to Canada.
That looks like Toronto.
You can tell it's Canada because there's trees.
And at the pointy tip of a tree.
Oh, and a pipeline.
I think that's a train track.
it's still a sign of a
We
petro.
are in BC, so frankly, I think Andy's suggestion is more likely.
If you see signs of a train track, you're still seeing signs of a petro state.
Nice.
No.
Not quite enough.
Nintendo really botched by not making this the actual music.
Even a lot of it was stock music at one point. It probably wouldn't have cost too much.
Nice.
I mean, I'm gonna be honest, I don't know they paid a lot of money for that, that royalty-free rock.
Nice.
Hell yeah.
Oh, nice!
What the?
So much air.
That was a really good shortcut.
I don't think it actually was.
Really? Okay.
Well, I'm in third, so probably not.
A second now. It's because people are racing, I think, at the side of one of the other bits.
I'm really starting to feel like there's very little penalty to crashing.
There's a really good bit here where if you can drift while going around, you can get both a tree and a drift. Going past it. And like there's no comboing system with that, but still like if during like this many seconds of the run, you're picking up stars from multiple ways.
Nice. Oh. Nice crash.
Don't worry about it.
I think the same way like on a
That was
Reeves
impressive.
thing, if you've got enough air, you could do a 720, get the 5 rings and a long butt jump and perfect landing, and collect like 15 plus stars.
So the 135, there's actually a limit how many stars you can get in a single track.
No, that is just the goal.
Okay. What happens if you hit the goal?
That way you pass. If you get more than that, you'll get silver, gold,
Okay.
S rank. The ranking is all based on stars.
So 135 is the target, but that's 135 including like your placement.
Yeah.
Okay.
You're 50 at the end. So basically, as soon as you're 50 away, getting first place will mean you got enough stars. Which also means like if you don't do stuff and you just go for first place, you'll lose. You really have to be doing more than just racing. Which
Nice.
is sort of an interesting difference between it and Burnout. Because Burnout, it's driving in interesting, risky ways, gets you boost, and that lets you get first place. In
I
this,
see.
it's
Oh, fuck me.
you always have access to boost. It's can you do enough interesting stuff to earn the stars?
It's interesting. This is sort of like that looks rampable. It's interesting. This is kind of like a fusion of the two scoring modes from Uniracers.
Yeah. So many stars.
Wow. That actually went pretty okay.
You're almost to the point you can get
Oh,
last place.
nice
in scoring.
air. Get
Nice.
yourself back on track.
Oh, woo!
Oh, nice. And got a little bit of tree run in
Air
there,
tree
too.
run!
Okay, this is fun.
I love this game. Like, going
Okay.
back to it.
That was
I-
cool.
Nice, S ranked.
Strength. Or as we like to call them, Sneeple.
I swear that says supper tree run. Yum, trees for supper.
Well, you are in Canada.
Sorry?
I do believe that y'all make a big deal about drinking tree blood as a foodstuff.
For suppers, yes.
Eating breakfast.
This reminds me of Warhammer paint colors.
Where I'm
Bright
from,
hot black.
Bilious green.
Masculine pink.
Sylvan Glen. Is there like a small ring of stones that
No, but
versus
you do
if
get
win?
to race across a castle.
Nice. Oh, that would be a great place to throw people.
Yeah, just like hold back a little then.
Didn't count. Oh, it did count my 360. One star for the 360. That's kind of pathetic, actually.
Yeah, the number of stars for how hard it is to do that stuff makes me think that the devs got really good at pulling those off every jump. And misjudged.
I mean, maybe that's not so bad though. Like,
Yeah.
like there's something you can finally optimize, but also you have to be very good at it and do it every time.
And also, I appreciate the thing that I am bad at due to wrist issues being not particularly favored.
It
But
basically
it would be
like
so satisfying, like to just do a 360 on every jump, you know?
definitely like the super version of this that I'm now in does require that, which is why I've had more trouble getting through all of it and opening up Mirror mode.
So I don't think anyone ever played this game, but the Speed Racer for the Nintendo DS
Whoa.
has a feature where, like, if you're, I think, in the air next to another car, you can press the car food button,
Oh my
and you'll
God.
do it like you'll get into like a spinning battle with them.
Oh wow.
Holy crud. That's very
Which,
very
like,
Wachowski.
personally, I feel like it should have just like used the entire bottom touchscreen for the like the A, B, C, D, E buttons, but
I like how there's a little sound effect when you barely miss a tree.
One thing I recommend is just sort of like pump and boost a little bit all the time.
Yeah, it's good.
You don't need to do it very quickly, but there's a sort of an optimal speed that keeps you just below overheating, but keeps you going at your maximum speed.
Interesting. Ooh, been drone.
Oh.
Yeah, like can give a shit.
nice landing.
I like how this game is giving you positive reinforcement all the time. Like, this game just feels very impressed with you. Holy shit! I think I was just going really fast, right?
No, you had the
Yeah,
power.
how?
You could
How
shield
the
it around.
fuck the retreat?
I feel like sometimes when I get in the air and I try to turbo jump, it just ignores me. I'm not sure what to...
Is the rest of that game good? Because that sounds good.
Speed Racer for the DS? No, absolutely
Wow,
not.
that's too bad. I want to see these people do a Speed Racer game.
Yeah, right. This actually does feel very like
Yeah.
very Speed Racer.
Outside of the like graphical styling, the actual
Yeah.
feeling of
No, but like the way that you're like interacting with the world in weird ways and like cutting through the.
Great B.
Still got first. Due to my stars. Stars! I feel like the easy mode of this is very good at making you feel really awesome because you do really shitty and it's like, you got first place. I'm like, yeah! I must have earned that. I got 100 stars. Oh my god.
Still haven't unlocked any more cars or trucks.
Should we switch over to Miguel's save now?
Where
It
are
is
we?
11:14.
We probably should soon. We can do a bit more of this and then we'll switch and I'll show some of the really, really high.
Yeah.
I'm not great at doing, like, actually getting tons of stars because it's been so long since I played this heavily, but I can definitely show some of the later cars and how insane the amount of air you can get is.
Someone's asking if I do wrist exercises for the RSI. No, I just don't. I have a couple of wrist exercises I do very, very, very occasionally. I usually don't remember. I just sort of. I don't play games that make you mash buttons, and if my hands stop hurting, I stop typing.
Oh, nice!
Oh, that
That
was
opened
good.
up a section.
Whoa.
Oh, nice.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
That's a fucking superb tree run.
That was like more than 5. Wait, was that the Crash FM guy?
No. That's not how computer viruses work.
God, it'd be so fucked up if it was.
Just the worst part of this one video game is
That
just
would have been a
trying
good
to
way
figure
to
out-
troll both of you.
You could have done that, yeah.
Recorded all of that, going like, I've got a custom soundtrack for this one. The soundtrack's going to be way better. And then,
It's
like,
just
Budget
Ramones.
741 comes on and the Crash guy's suddenly speaking.
We get into this one and you're still just playing the one Ramones song, the one French Ferdinand song, because you just really like them that much.
Aw. Really hoping to hit those guys.
If you had a car, you just have like a 5 CD changer, and each CD would be mixtapes of a Franz Ferdinand song and the Ramones song, one after the other.
So that thing you hit became permanent. There's now always that
Oh.
pedal there.
That's cool.
That's cool.
It's interesting that, like, mechanically this game cares nothing about realism, but I think because the devs are used to doing, like, games aimed at car fans,
Yeah.
the aesthetics are completely realistic.
Yeah.
Like, this would be great with a, like, Jet Set Radio.
Yeah, no, like, I
Aesthetic.
really wish this was weirder.
I mean, there's.
Thank God.
I think
Oh,
part
no,
of this
that was
might
enough
be
stuff.
like
Oh, okay.
if they're normally making like NASCAR games, right? This is what everyone playing the NASCAR off-road games wishes they were doing, right? Like you're always wanting to like mod it to turn off all the limits and then just like ramp over the mountain.
But probably not. They probably actually want something that's fairly realistic because the same way sports fans don't want special powers where you can like light the football on fire.
Really?
I
'Cause
mean,
Mutant
that's
League-
where you're wrong.
Mutant League football sounds
The
pretty good.
NFL didn't
Yes.
want that. Players wanted that.
Finland. Visit scenic Finland. And there's more signs of the international oil economy.
I've played Pod Race when it did not feel as good as this.
Hmm.
But it is also from an earlier generation where everything didn't feel quite as good.
I mean, I think the big achievement of Pod Racer was that, like, you could see anything at all given the N64's draw distance. No,
Oh,
like,
these-
genuinely, people were, like, really impressed by that.
Some of these tracks are amazing because there's some ones that are just like insane amounts of air and hills and stuff.
I really appreciate the nice iceberg
Yeah.
water to cool me down.
I really appreciate how chill the sound, the audio is right now.
Yeah.
It knew. I really object to chat's proposition that a knockoff Sum 41 is even a thing that, like, is possible. Like, they are the platonic ideal of low-red pop punk.
I can never remember which one's Sum 41 and which one's POD, or what POD stands for, and whether I'm thinking of POD or Puddle of Mud.
If you could have gotten down a little bit faster there, you would have landed in the safe zone. Like, all of that shoreline is a place that you could just do infinite boost on because of the water.
Oh,
You just have to be
that's
really careful
good.
Why is the
not to hit the edge.
360 control so complicated? It's like hold two. I keep doing like
Yeah.
50% of it. I like.
It's to stop you from doing it by mistake when you're trying to just steal.
Why would you ever break in the air though? Like, oh, I was just trying to break in the. Oh fuck! I kind of like saw that. I'm like, I was like subconsciously steering that way, and then my conscious brain took over and was like, no, don't do that. And then my subconscious was right.
Oh man, chat suggesting the station have the engine freeze, so you have to use the boost to just keep it warm. I feel
Oh,
like
that's
that would
great.
genuinely be great.
Has anyone made a survival car game yet?
I mean, Okay, so
I guess it's some of those like Russian sim ones where it's like you've got isn't there like a jalopy one that's kind of
oh, that's interesting.
where you've got like a cheap Russian car and have to keep it going?
Okay, so there is recently a simulationist. I don't know if you call it a racing game, but the idea is that you
Car
are.
ownership simulator.
I was gonna say that you're fleeing Poland under communist
that.
control.
Yeah, I need to play that. That sounds great.
Wait, which one's this?
I don't remember, but the idea was like you're trying to escape like some kind of totalitarian state, and it's based on
Just
something
win the
that
race.
actually happened to one of the relatives of the.
Oh,
That's really cool.
But the idea is that it's like you need to just get out and not attract attention. So if you have police attention, you have to drive really quickly and get away. But if you don't have police attention yet, you need to just make sure the police don't think there's anything unusual about your car.
That's great.
It sounded really cool, but
Okay, Miguel, you want to show us some?
okay. Let's open up some of the crazier tracks.
did you notice?
Oh
how,
wow, vaguely secular Christian rock. I think is the only phrase worse than.
How did you feel about Collective Soul? Collective Soul.
Oh, and you just unlocked your first new truck.
Time to quit.
No, that was...
Sorry. Collective Soul was an early 90s alternative rock band
Oh.
that...
They were one of those ones that was so generic I can't remember it. Oh yeah, jumping through the top part of that.
That is fucking badass.
The interesting things about Collective Soul is that they kind of a little bit started as a Christian rock band, but they just decided they didn't want to limit themselves to the Christian audience. And they did a diss track on Billy Corgan. And it is the most polite diss track. It is the bless your heart of diss tracks, and it was brutal.
That's like, I mean, that's what he deserves.
It was exactly what Billy Corgan deserved.
So there are a lot of cars in this.
Wow.
We are going to choose.
They definitely look different.
Let's choose this one that can get the absolute most amount of air.
Amazing.
This is actually just
Got, like, some slight
playing
wings.
with
And we'll color it
wheels.
red so it'll go faster.
That is
makes
true.
sense. I'm really sad I missed a chance to make a dishwalla joke in the part of Burnout where we counted only blue cars.
As children often do.
Indeed.
Shit, I was trying to stop myself from overheating and was not paying enough
What?
attention to where I was.
What? Oh. Could you have landed on the coast there and like?
I could, it's not a great situation to be in.
That's a lot of air! You know, I liked that one Jars of Clay song.
Nothing but air.
So how is this different from what we were doing before?
It's tracks you don't have access to,
Okay.
and a car that can get ridiculous amounts of air.
Okay. So
It,
it's
it
not...
frankly seems like a slightly senseless amount of air.
It's just the advanced tracks, there's not like different rules or anything.
No. There's no different rules in this one. There's mirror mode. There's a challenge mode that is sort of like little side things of just like doing parts of the game, but they're not terribly interesting.
So you said you needed to be doing lots of flips.
I am not doing it right now. I am basically just racing this one to
Sure.
show the ridiculous amounts of air.
What was it?
Wait, but if you get a lot of air, can you do like a 900?
Oh my god!
Yeah, smash that thing.
That's not how guns work. You can really tell that this game was made in the level editor at this point. They're just like, oh, I feel like that should have been survivable.
Yeah.
That was cool. I'm trying to hit the chat. I'm really trying. I think I'm... No.
Oh, I got an air 4. And then overheated.
And also you driving around for a
Yeah.
while.
So Someone's mentioning a horror driving in chat. That actually sounds cool.
Cool.
Hey, remember a few months ago when a movie came out called Monster Trucks that was about trucks that were also monsters?
No, I don't actually.
Literally
Technically,
no one
they were
talked about it.
engines.
I suppose that's true. Not to be confused here with mortal engines, in which I don't believe there were in fact any mortal engines.
I don't understand why it
That
wasn't
was
like
perfectly timed.
Yep.
like Universal Frankenstein driving a truck. I feel like that would be like a
So like,
So I'd suggest we do some pass
PlayStation
back and
Kart
forth,
Racer.
go
Sure.
through some of these later.
sure.
yeah. Weren't you saying there was some
Can we go to
shit?
Hyper Canada?
Yep, let's see what the final Canada, Platinum level Canada.
I'm gonna go to Wasp. What's grip? Kind of seems
Wolverine
like
is a good one. That's you've got good grip, you've got good speed, and you have ridiculous amounts of air still.
I'll try this. Oh, that orange is good.
God, stars required 300.
So, am I gonna lose?
Probably.
Okay.
Just try to get as many stars as you can.
I would say my body is ready, but I don't think it actually is. Oh yeah, I'm just doing great right off the bat.
Well, you didn't even get a star for that one.
I'm not sure I'm cut out for super.
I guess you
exciting
were not
crap.
going fast enough for.
Whee!
Oh, that's fine.
I thought from what I found out.
You might actually be worse off than like if we crashed there, since
Yeah.
I've got 5 stars for my 30 seconds of playing this. I'm doing great.
Oh, nice. Got a tree run there, some air.
Okay, I'm not doing terrible.
I like the little,
I'm doing
like, just
terrible.
totaling up everything on the side.
yeah.
It's nice to sort of, like, emphasize what you're getting.
Super tree run. Oh. If I had survived that, it would have been really cool.
So does this game have a Rainbow Road, or is it all like this?
There is one absolutely crazy track that we'll finish up with.
All right.
Cool. I guess one thing about crashing a lot is that you don't come back into a boost, you come back into a super boost, you know?
Yeah.
Which I guess means that when you crash, you can come back and it's trees. It's kind of cool.
So you know, if you're hitting trees, you can just
Truck around.
Boost.
Alright. I feel like these later levels are so wacky that I'm just sort of like struggling to.
Is this wackier than like the early ones? I feel like those had a lot of sharp turns as well.
It's not the sharp turns, it's just like the very sudden uphills.
There's a lot more spots to get air, generally, in the later levels.
I see.
I think there might actually be more sharp turns, honestly. Was that a... Yeah, it was
I love that thing with the, like, I'm driving,
Yeah.
where did the land go?
What if the ground was suddenly gone?
There's some good bits and tracks where you basically just create wetlands in an area, so you can go fast through it. We've seen like one
Here we
of
go.
some
Yeah.
other ones. Oh, nice, nice.
Whoa, no!
Oh, you overshot.
That's great.
I still
like
don't
that the
like-
challenge there is not overshooting.
It's actually like
Oh,
You gotta,
I,
like,
throwing
yeah, do the
yourself
drop.
down.
I should have gone for my bad driver instincts. I almost... I think I could have just gone off a road there and gotten a fuck ton of air. Oh my god, I went over
Double
the
truck
pipeline.
throw.
Yep.
I'm gonna get kicked out of Alberta for that. Disrespecting the pipeline. Here in scenic Canada.
I don't like that some rocks you can jump off, but not others. I feel like there should be more communication to build our jumpable rocks.
We need like some sort of like a Horizon Zero
really
Dawn
long
thing.
track. The time limit is 7 minutes.
Holy shit!
But it's
yeah.
only two laps. So I think it's like using the entire area that they've
I think they're usually
got.
2 laps. Like all the other
But
stuff.
like how big are those 2 laps
Yeah.
then?
Yeah, wow, this is still the first lap.
Really? Because I felt like I.
Nope.
Yeah.
So it also has just
Nice.
the you need to be doing really well for a long time thing. Some nice drifting. Super
I wonder how much
true.
rubber
Oh no,
banding
you're
there is.
overheating.
Not so bad.
It had so much momentum, it wasn't too bad.
I wonder how much rubber banding there is in this, because I feel like I like messed up completely and then I was like, oh, I'm only in fifth.
There's probably a lot, since it really isn't
Yeah.
about...
Anything, really. Whee!
Oh, that was a superb tree run. I don't know if the game's gonna acknowledge it, but
I keep running into the tree. Ah. Okay, I thought that because I was like super boosting when you come in,
No,
you could
you have to
drift it.
have the siren going, like the full...
Oh, that's interesting. It's the sound of the siren that makes it work.
Well, there's also like a slightly...
press A.
an extra particle effect thing going on.
I think
as
that the
well.
fact that I crashed into a car which crashed into the wall meant that like... Nice.
Oh, nice air.
I'm not gonna get a lot of points for it. No, I'm gonna get a lot of points for it. What happened up there?
I think there might be an explosion or a volcano going off or something. Like there's crazy... Oh, there's a forest fire as you progress through
Oh my god.
the level.
It's
Yeah.
like the Great
It's
Canyon
funny
volcano.
because we're on the west coast.
I'm actually doing not terrible on those stars. Oh, come on. I wish that they would give points for like a single really good tree run, you know? Amazing! It's like Christine's been playing Sekiro, and a thing that they really like to do. Oh, come on! It was like 3 trees!
3 trees means a tree run.
Yeah, but it didn't give me a tree run.
May have been too much gap between them.
Maybe, or they were like on opposite sides or something. I think this is supposed to be the car with lots of grip. It doesn't feel like it has a lot of grip. Possibly because I'm going at a ridiculous speed.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah, I see what Matt was talking about with the car's direction does not really have a strong correlation with what
Yeah.
direction you're going in, which, you know, feels right. If you want to have those big spins, it can't actually affect
Oh yeah, that's on fire.
Yeah, Canada's on fire. Sorry. This is probably America's fault somehow.
So this is sort of some of the stuff they sort of add into the final track. So they do things like setting stuff on fire or
That's...
having other big things happen.
I feel like that's close to being interesting. Like, it's not...
It's not like it
I
matters.
feel like it's a
when
good
it's on fire.
start.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I do wish, as I say, I think that the aesthetic aspect of this is not nearly as interesting as the mechanical.
Yeah.
There's something sort of interesting about like...
I don't know. Excite truck is not a phrase that makes me be filled with joy or enthusiasm or imagination.
No, the mechanics are much better than the theme.
Yeah.
Which is, I think, why this game did not become like a huge classic, is that like I don't think it attracted a lot of the people who would actually be really into it.
And also, like, we are doing a lot of salvaging of the aesthetic with this killer soundtrack.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a train track. There's a...
Yeah.
Why would you...
Shall I show you the crazy track?
Yeah, crazy track, crazy track, crazy track. Like... Excite bike off-road, right? Like, before this I was proposing Excite Drive.
I mean...
Actually, let's do one... I don't think we've done any of the ones in
better.
the Great
It's
Wall
still
of
not
China.
aesthetic.
No.
I don't know. I think about, like, Outrun. Has, like, a very, you know, it's realistic in a lot of ways. But, like, aesthetically, it tells you a very appealing narrative, right? It's very cool.
I guess part of the thing is, like... So the big thing is they're like, oh, they're trying to link you to Excite Bike, but, like... Think of all of your really great Excite Bike memories, right? Like, what do you remember about Excite Bike, even? It's like... It's just kind of notable for being there?
It had a level editor.
It had a level editor, that's really memorable. It was like,
That's about it.
this is like the one game that was easy to get in Animal Crossing.
Holy shit!
Oh my god.
Okay, I will concede that's pretty cool.
Pretty cool.
I think there's some side bits for also jumping through over the Great Wall of China and other areas.
Can you actually drive on the Great Wall? Because that sounds pretty cool.
You can, but it doesn't get you anywhere useful.
Aww.
Which I think is a failure of their...
Man,
Let's see if I can...
even when they had a good concept, they didn't.
Nice.
That bit really sucks if you don't get the...
I feel like there's something I kind of like about the aesthetics of just like one of those like random off-road games but used for evil. But
Oh, there's another secret POW.
also I really would have been into Speed Racer version of this. So what about Excitebots?
I've never
Yeah.
played it. My understanding is that they leaned heavily into the motion control stunt stuff.
Oh.
So the least good part of the game.
I gotta say, I don't like the motion controls in this at all.
I like the steering, I'm fine with.
I feel like the
Yeah.
steering feels a lot worse than it did in Mario Kart.
I can tell you if you're playing through it the full way, you get very good at it. It's...
I'm sure, I have no doubt that like I could adjust to it, but I feel like Mario Kart's like motion controls just felt fun. Like they felt fun the moment you pick it up. You're like, oh, this is really cute. Whereas this, I don't know, it feels weird.
I don't know, I played them a lot around the same time, and I definitely preferred this game to Mario Kart in general.
I could see myself playing way more of this than Mario Kart.
Yeah.
That's definitely not the question.
No, my problem is just the stunts. Like, everything else feels good to me.
Well, I mean, I think part of it is like, aren't you holding the controller differently than Mario Kart? I don't
Oh,
remember what
Mario
I-
Kart, you held it in a really weird way.
Yeah.
Didn't you hold it like this?
Yep.
Ugh, yeah, no, I do.
Well, I mean, part of it was like you had to get like a little like plastic
Yeah.
thing for the controller, so you were like
Yeah.
going like this.
I remember actually being kind of annoyed at Mario Karts after playing tons of this because of the fact that you didn't hold it the way you do for this.
I mean, the trick is that honestly, it's like way worse playing that way because you can't do really tight turns. Like there's a mechanical penalty
Holy
for
crap.
tight turns. That...
Yeah, it just collapsed a part of the wall on it.
UNESCO is going to be so angry at you.
And I feel like this, like, Mario Kart, you're sort of like, you're playing worse by playing with it, but because this is all sort of like big, heavy vehicles, it fits with, and like really drifty vehicles.
Yeah, I feel like if
It
this,
fits well with motion
Oh
control.
yeah, no,
if this
no.
feels
I
worse
think,
than if this feels worse than
I
Mario
think I just
Kart.
mean the gesture felt better rather than like
Of having it in
the
real.
actual. Yeah.
Okay.
Like, I don't know. I do feel like if you are doing motion controls, it needs to be something really satisfying.
I feel like
Like, in general, if something you're doing is a compromise as an input mechanism, it needs to at least be a fun one. Like, it needs to have, like, some sort of... Honestly, the thing that comes to mind for that isn't motion controls. It's, the voice controls in Ace Attorney for the DS. Which is, like, a much worse way to play because, like, it's really flaky. But shouting at your console is really fun. So, like, it offsets the...
I don't know if I'd want to play this with a controller. though. Like, I really do like the way it plays with.
Yeah, it feels very visceral. And, like, you're barreling along a lot, but like when you
Like,
want
you
to
think
turn,
it helps
like,
that, like,
"Wing."
yeah, like, it does help, like, smooth it out.
There's this Umberto Eco thing about pinball being a game you play with your hips.
Mm.
And if you're not playing with your hips, you're not going to do as well.
Also, I feel like this, for like the lands, would feel much weirder with a controller.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, this is very
That would
much
definitely
like...
be worse.
So, like, turning
So
left or
I
right...
think this is the Mexico one that has the crazy jump, so it might be worth one.
Okay,
person
cool,
doing
yeah.
that, and then we'll do the crazy one. Someone on stream is asking, I'm playing Chocobo's Dungeon while watching and was thinking, have any roguelikes made an appearance on the stream? I don't think we have done a roguelike.
I don't think we have, actually, which is kind of wild.
Have we done
I mean,
Taken
Miguel's
Arrow?
been streaming,
I've done some streaming on the side of
Yeah.
one of my favorite roguelike or action roguelikes, whatever word you want to use, which is Unexplored.
Yeah.
And we might stream it at some point because I think it is a really interesting game.
Off
to talk
stream, Miguel and I both play a lot of roguelikes, I feel like.
I definitely do not, but...
I don't know how stream friendly roguelikes are necessarily. Like, so if we play Spelunky, for example, you can sit me down and I can beat Spelunky in 40 minutes, usually on the first try on a hell run. Is that interesting? I don't know.
Well, that's because you're
I
really...
will say, watching you play Spelunky is one of the most boring things I've seen in my life.
That's because I ghost mine.
It's awful. I hate it.
I think if you play them the right way, they are really interesting because, okay, so
Perfect.
if you can do it... Oh, no!
Oh, no.
The original Rogue is really good. I feel like the problem is that, like, with roguelikes, either you're learning them, which means you know nothing, which means it's good for, like, one of those, like, 12-hour streaming all the time streams, but maybe not for our short stream. The other alternative is you're incredible, and watching someone who's really good at a roguelike play that roguelike is, again, possibly really boring, because they're playing it in an incredibly, like... Most roguelikes, when you get good at them, you're playing them in a really pathological way.
I think there's a long period where you're in the middle, which is actually really interesting. It's going to be different every time.
Yeah.
So even if you've played it a ton of times, there's the chance of something interesting happening. The way stuff fuck up is often part of what's interesting about a roguelike.
Yeah,
I feel like
speaking of which,
they can be very good for streaming.
I will say that I would love to do a Dwarf Fortress stream.
I'd be into that. Hey, when does the Steam version come out?
There's no date given yet.
So
You're nice at this one.
I'm zoning out. Tell me when the incredible error is about to happen.
Oh, fuck.
Oh, that sucks.
Buddy.
Can you press 8 or reset at any time?
No.
Only when it thinks you're screwed.
We're just gonna see if Christine could do that ridiculous jump.
I feel like not enough people recognize that the original Toe Jam and Earl was not only a roguelike, it's very similar to original Rogue. So, like, I was really into the Wii when it first came out. I was really excited about the revolution. I was like... I thought there were, like, really a lot of opportunities, and I feel like they didn't really play out, and part of it was that, like, Nintendo didn't necessarily understand what was interesting about motion controls. They're just like, we've got motion controls, so use them. And sort of like, oh, that was cool.
The best motion control games on Wii are not Nintendo games. I would say they're the Trauma Center series and Zack and Wiki.
So that's the thing, though. Both of those, okay, never mind Zack and Wiki, but Trauma Center is fundamentally like a pointer game, right? Like, most of the interesting Wii games turned out to be the pointer games.
Which is really frustrating because I do not feel like the Wii is a good device as like a pointing.
It depends on what kind of pointing you're doing.
Oh, can you?
Can I jump it?
Yes!
Oh, it should have given you points for that.
I feel like that should just be 5 stars.
Yeah.
Anyway, here's the thing. So, gestures are never okay. Gestures should always just be a button. It's never interesting. Zack and Wiki is the one exception, but there's a reason for that. The whole thing about steering, there's like a feeling difference to steering versus using an analog stick, but it doesn't really change the game. It just changes how it feels. the thing that's really needs the Wiimote for this is the landing, right? Because that's like a kind of a judgment that like you can't do with anything other than the Wiimote.
Because you're feeling where you...
Yeah, you're judging like what angle am I at, and you're actually deciding on like a three-dimensional angle. That's interesting.
Oh, exception, WarioWare. The WarioWare for Wii is actually one of the really good.
That's
ones.
but that's like usually not. I feel like WarioWare for Wii is more kind of a hybrid in the sense of like Wii Sports, because like Wii Sports was all gesture based, but it was disguised gesture based.
Yeah.
Like it was all like do this thing that is a real world motion, and we're actually doing some cheating behind the scenes to make it snap to whatever you want it to be. Yeah, there's like, I don't know, the Wii pointer feels different from the DS pointer or a mouse pointer. Like I'm actually making a pointer based game right now, and
Okay, so you can't take your time too much because you'll still.
Oh, this sucks.
There's still a time limit.
So I'm making a pointer based game right now in VR, and
I was not doing well.
I think the game I'm making right now being done with something very similar to the Wii remote, because like the Oculus Go controller is a lot like the Wii remote, but it's like it would not work with a mouse pointer. It just would feel too wrong. There's also one really specific, interesting thing about the Wii pointer, which is that you can rotate.
Yeah, no, and like
Weird.
Trauma Center makes use of that. Particularly the Final Trauma Center does a bunch of stuff with it.
Yeah.
Eon S is saying gestures add accessibility barriers like no other type of control.
Yeah.
Oh my god, is this ever true?
Here's the thing, it does for some people, it does the exact opposite for some other people. Like, all sorts of weird interface stuff often do both.
Yeah.
If you, like, there are people who cannot use a controller at all, but might be able to do a bunch of the gesture games.
That's true.
I mean, I
but
think that's true, but maybe it's not true for games that are Wii Sports.
the problem with gestures is that they're inflexible, right? So if someone has limited mobility of some sort,
Yeah, you can't remap them.
it's going to be a complete coincidence what things they do. And the problem with gesture games is a lot of time it's like you're doing one gesture, and then you get 50% of the way into the game, and there's a totally new gesture, and it's not skippable, right? There's no way you can start off and go, here's a list of the things my body is able to do.
This is true.
Which is like, I don't know, the Xbox controller is interesting, the new accessibility controller. Yeah. I've never seen it in action, but the one thing that I do notice about it is that it's very into the idea of like redundancies, or like you have a set of things you can do and it figures out a way to map that to what the game knows how to do.
So super excited.
Diamond, oh my goodness. Oh, there's only one.
Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting.
Okay.
Nebula.
But I feel like Trauma Center would not work, like as a mouse game would be a much worse game.
Mm-hmm.
The other thing is like...
But there was a DS one, right? Whoa.
Yeah. The DS ones are not as good as the last two Wii ones.
It's No Man's Sky. What is up with those, like, jellyfish?
That's good.
These colors are disgusting and I love them. This is a good music selection.
Yeah.
How
Well,
many moons do you have?
I mean, this is like some 70s science fiction ass shit, so you gotta have some 70s.
Oh, this is weird.
Music.
I appreciate they're at least trying to be creative here.
Yeah, they got different trees. And purple water. It's good.
Oh.
I don't know, this is definitely like making me appreciate like how good at being weird Rainbow Road is.
Mm.
Like, genuinely. What is up with that place?
I like how in Mario Kart Double Dash, like, it's just hovering above a city, and that doesn't make it feel, like, any more normal.
No, it makes it even weirder.
I've got to say I like the Sonic Racing version of Rainbow Road even more.
What's that?
It's all Samba de Amigo themed, and it's
Nice.
messed up.
Oh yeah, that one's real good. It's got like a lot of the Samba de Amiga visual design, right?
Yeah.
I feel like actually that is a little bit closer to like some of the visual design of Speed Racer. Like,
Yeah, no.
like the movie, like that final
Oh
race.
no,
they
I
did.
need to get up.
I like how the crystal actually kind of, like, hurt you there, because, like... Oh, this is so weird! The, like... Visually,
Oh, no.
Visually, the crystal is supposed to be see-through, but it's obscuring objects. That's really weird.
Ah,
Oh, I don't know how I feel about that.
that's
I'm gonna admit,
that's interesting.
this entire game is just making me want to replay Sonic and the Secret Rings.
I mean, that's a great game if you like replaying. You
Yep.
definitely get to do a lot of replaying while playing that game.
That's the game.
Oh, we've got a tornado now.
That's kind of cool. Can you get caught up in the tornado?
I think so.
I'm thinking about, like, John Boyce's thing about future football and, like future immortal superhumans just running directly into a tornado to get some air so they can travel some distance quickly.
I think like the problem, one of the things that is a
This
problem.
crystal effect is so weird.
Yeah.
It-
With
Wow.
discussions of gesture is really there are two different things that we associate with the same because they use the same tech, but they're
Mhm.
actually very different.
Yeah.
Which is tilt is not gesture. It's like this isn't gesture.
Yeah.
This is
Yeah.
mapping a tilt to
Yeah.
a specific input. Gesture is actually taking a series of tilt and accelerometer
And mapping it
Well-
to a single action.
and
So-
then reading it after the fact and deciding that you did a gesture.
Yeah.
Yeah, and actually I would not call Wii Sports gesture based for that.
No.
Like, because Wii Sports, it was like, in that case they're usually
It's
doing
a
something.
mix.
Well, usually in most of the Wii Sports levels, what they were actually doing was they were picking one axis, like just isolating one axis of your movement and mapping that to something like in the game. Like when you were playing tennis, it was really just recording how far forward or back is your hand, and it wasn't really gesture based because it wasn't like, instead of going like, okay, we detected you moved from back to forward, that's a gesture. That means effectively you pressed A. It's like, well, you're
It's doing
moving
some extra data as well as that.
Well, you're moving the racket back and forth, and it's just like, was the ball in the way when you moved it? There's actually some kind of gameplay thing going on, instead of just like, is it a disguised way of pressing a button?
I feel like, oh man, apparently I could go a lot higher on that based on where those wings were. I feel like that still ends up being less one-to-one than, say, this is, or in Trauma Center
Yeah,
when
yeah,
you're
yeah.
rotating something.
It's not one-to-one
Yeah.
at all, but it's sort of like, you're puppeting something, right? Or like Zack and Wiki, like, it wasn't usually like, spin in a circle. It was like, you've got a weird little like, oh god, that was gross. I'm not complaining, but it was gross. I feel like that entire level was designed by a shader programmer,
Yeah.
with no artists or anyone else involved.
I don't know, I kind of get what they were going
Yeah.
with it.
I get what they were going for,
All
Don't get me
those
wrong, like I do
cliches.
think like
but that's something that, like,
the Wii's version of shaders, but
Yeah.
like
yeah,
which is weird by the way.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I feel like that's like a good way of like coming up with a visual gimmick, right? Like
yeah.
it really does give you that striking image of the crystal reflecting the stars.
I think it was throwing stars underneath.
So-
I think so.
Unsurprisingly, of the challenges, the one that just involves smashing as many cars as possible is the one I have S's
This
on.
is a really this tells a story.
Yeah. This is sort of the side mode.
Cruising World goes to the moon. That's also good.
What's Cruising World Goes to the Moon?
A
Cruising
lot of
World,
people are
yeah,
asking us
game.
about our sidebox. Oh, that's beautiful. I really like the soundtrack.
You heard it, people. Please hire me to do music choices for your racing games.
Do you know?
Miguel is offering his services as a racing game DJ.
No, there's like a word for the people who are specifically, their job is to select music for like commercials and stuff like that.
Yes.
It's like a music supervisor.
Yeah.
I will be the music supervisor for your car game. Okay, so each ring you get cumulatively ups your time, and you've got a time limit.
Interesting.
Someone else want to try this?
Yeah, you can keep going.
Sorry?
You can keep going.
Okay.
I feel like my head is starting to spin from 2.5 hours of racing games.
Yeah. I figured we should just show what the alternate stuff is. It is a game that's really about, like, they made their main
Are they
mode.
getting easier as you fuck them up?
It might be, they're also getting worse.
That's interesting.
Yeah, I think the points are like correspond to how difficult they are.
Could be.
Oh, yeah, you got a 5, next ring's a 10.
Yeah. And if I get that, I'll get a 15 after.
That's-
But if it goes,
It's a bit
if I
It's
miss
really
one,
interesting.
yeah, no, it isn't neat. I just don't find jumping through rings nearly as interesting as smashing trucks.
Yeah, well, which one does the game have the controls for?
Rings,
Both, but
honestly,
also-
because you're slower in the air.
No.
On the other hand, it's much more fun to smash trucks.
Yeah. I feel like this game also, like, they basically try to put everything into their main mode. So, as soon as you do that, you end up with this subtractive design where the only way you're gonna get new modes is by taking stuff out, kind of,
Yeah.
and having something less interesting. Same way, like, a few of the modes are really good in Burnout, and then some of them are like, this is not as good as a main line.
Yeah.
Like, it could be interesting as a challenge, but I'm not sure there's just enough to the game you can take out.
Yeah, it's like you just don't want to spend, like, you could be playing the more interesting version of it. I kind of have that problem with Unexplored DLC, which are all sort of like strongly themed sets, but means that like it's never going to be as unexpected and
Because the
as
random
much of a mix-up as playing the regular mode.
A lot of roguelikes, when you see those kind of like that authored content, it's really interesting because it's presenting scenarios that wouldn't have occurred in the real game. But the randomizer in Unexplored is so good.
Yeah, that like authored content is less interesting than the unauthored content.
I feel like these would be like good training.
Yeah, they're good training,
Yeah.
but like they're definitely a bonus mode.
Yeah.
And I get why, unlike Burnout, they just do races, not
Yeah.
like races, here's changing it up, races, here's changing it up.
Yeah.
Like, I would be annoyed if, like, in the middle of all of the really fun
God,
racing,
yes.
they'd thrown this in.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, like in Burnout, like it's not taking away stuff from you. It's just recontextualizing
Yeah.
your interactions. But it's like it's not limiting your.
Also, Burnout is giving you a lot of control over what you're doing. Like, if you decided to never do a crash round in Burnout, it probably wouldn't be so
You
bad.
do get gated at some spots, what I remember.
Are you going to show us the crash mode?
Oh, yeah.
I think we should probably call it.
Yeah, no, I think at that point we're done. And we've sort of gone, from a fairly simple thing that just adds tricks for getting speed
Yeah.
to this thing where it's like 2 players could do the same race and get the same score and
Yeah.
race in entirely different ways.
I do feel like there's so I think before we started the stream, you said something like the first game is just tricks, the second one adds the idea of risk, and the third one is risk plus choices.
Yeah.
I would almost put it like Uniracers has tricks, Burnout has the idea of kind of like some demolition derby stuff, and this is a combination of the two. like because you have tricks and you also have
lost
like
track where I'm supposed to. Oh, it is just an open arena. I had forgotten how this works.
amazing.
So I've got
Yeah, you
radar.
got your mini map.
Again, we're back in Uniracers.
Yeah, no, they are sort of a combination, but also I think there is sort of like a rising amount of player creativity to
Yes,
it.
absolutely.
Yeah.
And like the player creativity feels like it matters a lot more in this than in like Uniracers, right? Like in
Yeah, where
Uniracers-
like the problem with Uniracers is it's just creativity without constraints.
it's creativity without constraints, and it's also like none of your choices feel like they make a difference. Like if you
Well, that's
if you
what I
swing
mean by
one
the constraints.
okay.
Like
If you swing one way instead of another, you'll get a bunch of things that pop up on the screen. You'll feel good, but it's not like
Well, I mean, I do think it's interesting in that, like, it is, like, in every racing game, like pure racing games are fundamentally about being given a set of constraints and optimizing it. Like, you're trying to figure out, like, what is the, like...
but there is
What's
a
the perfect way to do
optimal, like perfect ramp.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And I think that's true in Uniracers as well. But the vocabulary for optimizing is way weirder.
it is. But there's another thing.
Because
Is
you're trying to find secrets. You are trying to like take advantage of like this jump. I can do this sort of trick.
Yeah.
In this jump, I can only do like a tighter one. In this jump, I can move along one. Like I was noticing like in some jumps, like the axes you can move on is different.
Huh. That's interesting.
Just in terms of like the way it's all set up.
Yeah, you can't really jump from like a standing still spot and turn on the Z-axis.
So, like, it's kind of creative in that, like, you're figuring out how to optimize in ways that are, like, I think
Yeah.
are much more straightforward in a traditional racing game.
That is an interesting.
But it is still, like, you are trying to find something optimized.
But the thing that's interesting is like
And I will say, I didn't necessarily find it fun to play.
So when you're doing Uniracers, you have like, both this and Uniracers, you have like a set of things you could be doing. You could be doing free runs, you could be doing air, you could be doing flips. The thing that makes it, what the heck is this? The thing that makes a big deal to me is the star system, because like, this has the concept of so-so air, really good air, excellent air, right? In Uniracers, it's just which trick did you do, and this, every trick has really good and really bad forms. So you're
and
not...
what ones are actually available to you at any given time.
And there's
is based on
feedback.
like your previous play.
Yeah. But there's also like feedback. It like tells you how good was that. So you're always like, you do a particular trick, and that gives you a sense of like, well, how much did it like that trick? You're optimizing for the tricks it likes more. And when you look at a particular setting, you're like, well, with this much air, I could do like 3 stars of air or 1 star of the 360. Well, I'm going to go for the better air because that gives me more stars. Like you're thinking at a much higher level instead of just kind of wait until you have air and then button mash.
Especially when it's like a matter of doing something that will get you more stars but could be slower. Or could be
Yeah.
faster. Like if you're, if you want those 50 stars for winning, going into trees is a little bit nerve-wracking.
Yeah.
Yeah. Of course, in Uniracers, it is never... Not only is it never worth wiping out, they go out of their way to take away your points if you wipe out, right? Like, the only way you can push yourself to... You always want to go for the faster thing, and the only choices you're making are how much garbage can I get away with before I run out of air.
Yeah, Parrish is mentioning, Spinning Mind is mentioning, often racers have a literal perfect line
Yeah.
their car would follow for the best result.
Yeah.
And yeah, like, what is the perfect line in Burnout? Already it's a bit funky because of how you could get boost.
Yeah.
What is the perfect line in this? Who knows? It could be completely off the track at one point. There could be multiple, choiced perfect lines.
And there's a similar... This stretches into which cars are viable, because, in Mario Kart, there is always a known perfect car for every track. In Mario Kart, you basically either go for most weight, or, sometimes you'll go for, a lighter car just because it can do a shortcut that another one can't. Whereas in this, it's sort of there's, a rock, paper, scissors? Is that the right phrase to use? There's, there's a classing element where, well, this will be better at this will be better at this. There's still probably only 3 optimal cars at any one time, but it's more than one.
And also, like, if you're in the air, that's time that you're losing out on a potential tree run. That's time you're missing out on a drift. So you could choose totally different cars and take a completely different route to how you're approaching.
It's interesting.
Yeah, it's too bad that this is like over a 10-year-old game probably at this point. When did the Wii come out?
Yeah.
Because it was a launch title. Also, like one of the good launch titles.
But this got like 2 or 3. This got like 2 or 3 sequels by the same team. There was Excitebox. There was Excitebike. They made an Excitebike game. It was on the Wiki.
Okay.
It was WiiWare though. It was downloadable.
I think it may not have been the same type of game.
Maybe not.
I should see if I can get a used copy of Excitebox at some point, just so we can see what.
Yeah,
it's
maybe
like.
we're checking out.
Since probably it's quite cheap to get now.
Oh man, Battalion Wars. Sorry.
Yeah, I wish, I feel like this, took a bunch of ideas people had before and combined them to make this. Because the idea, I think the star-type rating thing came from another game originally, but it was a more realistic racing game.
This team went on to make Pilot Wings Resort. And then, after, a few more, they were involved in Tropical Freeze, and now they're back to NASCAR games again.
Yeah.
Their original love.
Yeah, have them do it and get Ethan Red to do the visuals.
Honestly, Ethan Red is just making a racing game.
Yeah,
No,
it seems more Outrun style.
Yeah, it's a little bit F-Zero GXy, but it doesn't have this
that style.
This way of thinking about racing. It's a racing game.
Yeah, no, I really would love to see what if people iterated on this idea.
Yeah.
I think it's a really good one. And when you're sort of playing it at home and not on a stream, and you get to that point where you're just not quite getting the stars on a track, and you're just trying to figure out how to optimize it, and the different ways you
could see us doing that with Burnout.
Yeah.
I would almost be interested in more of the terrain flexing, because that was really odd in certain ways, and it felt like your choices were not just how do you approach this, but what do I want the map to look like?
Yeah, do I want to do a jump here?
What was the timing on it?
That also, the whole, car launching thing is really weird, offensively changing the terrain. It feels like a gimmick, but, there might be something interesting there.
I think that there's so many different things that, you can do a gimmicky way of getting stars, but that's never going to be enough to get you through the thing. You're also going to have to be good at some of the pure skill bits. And, there's the things that are just chance. Oh, you luckily ended up in a good position to just smash a bunch of the cars and collect, 15 stars.
Yeah.
A good mix of opportunity to exploit and pure skill,
which
and
the opportunity
memorization and thinking through what you're gonna try to do to get the stars you need.
At that point, the fairly limited control does start to be kind of a problem because it's sort of hard to you can make weirder, complex decisions in Mario Kart. I feel just because Mario Kart's a little bit slower.
Yeah, the thing is that this does ramp up, so you do get quite good.
Y'all ever play Kirby Air Ride?
I have not, and I think I've seen some video of it recently, and it looked really interesting.
It had one of the interesting things about it was that it strongly encouraged you to come to total stops frequently, because you had a very slight regenerative braking element. So the idea was that when you brake, you so first off, there's no acceleration. There's only brake. You're always accelerating as much as possible, which is smart. Okay. And it also this is by the Smash team, so you have one big button, which is brake.
Yeah.
But it's not really brake because the idea is when you brake, all the speed you're losing by braking is going into the star, and then when you let go of the brake, it all bursts out at one time.
Oh,
that's
so
really cool.
That has two effects. The first effect is that this means that you can do horrible hairpin curves by coming to a complete stop, turning 270 degrees, and just launching yourself in another direction.
Yeah, okay, that's cool.
It also means that if you come to a stop and then launch yourself, potentially you can attack that way.
What was it on?
It was on the GameCube. It was a late GameCube game, and it was really weird. It had a lot of extra strange content. It was probably the most visually complex without going into stylizedness of the Kirby games, it was like basically, what if the Kirby world, but it was like this giant 3D space.
It has split screen multiplayer also, right?
It does, and then it had one really weird mode that was like a weird kind of like GTA open world thing, where I don't think there was a goal, it was just this city, and like the simple version is, oh, you're going around and stuff's happening in the city, and you're picking up little badges and stuff, but there's all this like hidden stuff, like there's an entire like...
So it's like an exploration base?
Yeah, imagine the city, like the hub city from Sonic Adventure,
Okay.
but you couldn't go anywhere. It was just like the weird little like extras, like, oh wow, you can get in the sewer. Like, I wonder if you get on top of that building.
So yeah, pure exploration.
Pure exploration.
This sounds really cool. We should
Yeah.
try to track down a copy.
It was honestly one of my favorite GameCube games. I really like it.
We're just going to switch us over so that we are just
I
us
think
on
we're
it.
gonna pack it up
Okay.
anyway.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for
Right.
joining us, everyone. Next week we'll be back with absolutely nothing we discussed here.
Yeah, we'll have to
Another
figure it
theme.
out.
We're not
We'll
sure
figure
yet,
something.
but we'll figure something out.
And
Yeah.
thanks for joining
Thanks
us
for
for
joining us.
racing, and sorry about how bad the stream quality
And
probably
big
was.
thanks to Matt for all of the insider information.
Yeah,
on
no, that was
Burnout.
awesome. Thanks so much
Thanks
for
much for
stopping
that.
by. Well, thanks. No longer here. Oh, no, still there.
Okay, night, Matt.
Okay.